Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. Oh, my goodness, gravy.
Boy, you fell right back into that.
I'll tell you, it's great to be with you. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Brock, you had a good weekend. You went to Gettysburg to see Jolene, and Tom.
Yes.
Wait, did I hear that you got a new mattress?
It was not a ghost bed.
What?
Right?
What? What is going on? What's the rationale?
I have no idea. Cheap. He's cheap. What can I say? He's cheap.
So what is it? Is it better than the whatever you were sleeping on?
Well,
just come on. Just
concrete floor would be better than what I was sleeping on.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
I would have preferred a ghost bed, but, wasn't my call.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
Is that what it was?
Right.
How are you guys? We ended the week, since we had Friday off, number 6.
Wow.
Number 6. And also unusually, we had almost identical views after the show as we did during it. I'm telling you what, though, you guys are the lifeblood. A lot of people can't watch it this time. They watch later. Again, secondary lifeblood. Love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had fun coming home from California yesterday. I had a direct flight that was canceled and then rescheduled until, like 8 hours later. That was going to get me in at 1 a.m. Or I could scramble and leave at 8:30 and get in last night at just before 10? And so that's what I did.
I know. I was ready to call.
He was ready to call the bat phone, which goes directly to the office of one J.D. Rucker and Associates. And I was like, you're in that situation because there's lousy weather and airlines. I'm not going to tell you why they do what they do, but it's never in the flying. I don't feel like it's in the flying public's financial or frustration benefit.
I have a question for everyone.
Yes.
So I was driving from Gettysburg, and it started to rain. Now, it rained pretty hard, but, it's rain. I have windshield wipers, right? Speed limit 70. Traffic was going 65.
Oh, nice.
Why do people put on their blinkers? I'm like, you're going 65 miles an hour.
That's like if you're going through fog or you're going up a steep pass.
And we don't have to drive like assholes when it starts to rain. Like all bets go off. Like every driving skill you ever learned or had gets thrown out the window.
Hi, Pops. Hello, Glow. Hi,
What
Jules.
is with the blinkers?
What's up, Ginger? I don't know. It's like a big sign. It's like wearing a mask. Can't be trusted.
Safety.
Can't be trusted.
You're still going 65.
Can't be trusted. Got to get away from you. True. What's going on? Who else is here? Hello, Demots. What's going on? Rosebud and trumpin' it. Good morning. Hi, lady.
I think I found a shirt for Wendy that we may be able to.
It's an Under Armour, though. You think you can get the manufacturer?
Yeah.
Is that what you want me to show it?
Yeah. Well, I'm pressuring her, so I went to the Under Armour outlet. I got socks, but it's got a little hoodie on the back.
It's that cute nylon feel, so it's nice and cozy, like it's cool.
I got green because it was $11.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. We'll have to see. I still want my original shirt.
Well,
and I have to keep
you know what?
It. I want what I want.
I know. Well, what you want, they don't sell anymore.
That we know of. I'm going to put it out there tomorrow. I'm going to put out the shirt name, and I'm going to see if any of our super sleuths can find it for me. Because so far, we've struck out.
But you don't.
I have a picture of it, too. I could show
you have to find it in bulk. Not,
right.
We have 50.
No, I would buy 50.
What's that?
I'll buy 50 if it's that gray. I'll piecemeal it. I'll piecemeal it. I love that shirt. I love that shirt. It's my favorite
Then you
shirt.
need to talk to Jolene, and just start ordering as many as you can from every different place.
Anyway, it's great to be with you guys.
I'm trying.
Kelly
guys.
Morgan has a very special offer, by the way, Brock. And this is exciting.
Okay.
If you go to moregainsfitness.com, hit the 90 Ignite, $99. You go get the blood work, you do that. She sends you all of the stuff you need to do. There's no counseling, but you get the plan. $99 through the month of July, only for the Wendy Bell Radio family. Moregainsfitness.com. Moregainsfitness.com.
$99. Yeah.
$99 to change your life. I'm going to go with it's worth it.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we are converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America, and greetings to all of you. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program, Common Sense Conservative Values, delivered by a mom. That literally in 5 seconds, that is what we do every single day. And I missed you over the weekend. I did. I missed talking to you on Friday, sharing with you all of the many reasons why being an American is the most precious gift in the world. And I'm so jazzed that we get to do it all over again this week. WendyBellRadio.com. If you like to watch and listen, you can do that because the whole show is live video streamed and we interact with you during the commercial breaks. Wendy Bell Radio is our podcast. We're looking for 8.3 million downloads, marching towards that any day now. No matter how you come to us, I'm glad you're here. I hope you hang out for a while. And welcome home. Truly welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, it's weird, as we were gearing up on this program for what was going to be this star-spangled celebration of all of the many reasons why we are so lucky to be part of this great experiment, right? I actually saw not a single firework. I didn't even hear one. I had absolutely no connection whatsoever to this great celebration, this 5-star, 800,000 shell firework extravaganza in DC. I was completely disconnected from all of the celebration. I hope you ate too much, maybe even drank too much, played in the pool, ran through the sprinklers, enjoyed your family, put out the flag, and took a moment to imagine how blessed we are to be here to celebrate 250 years of these United States. I left on Thursday after the show, and I caught a rare direct flight to Los Angeles, where my dad picked me up a little after 8 on Thursday night. And we went home. I grew up in a town called Calabasas. It's in the San Fernando Valley. It's a beautiful town. It's changed a lot since I moved away, but it is just a very special place. The canyons where my dad lives, where I grew up, that go to the beach, that winds you through red rock clay, live oak trees, and turkey vultures and peacocks and even black bears. Every time I go out, my dad takes out his 2004 BMW convertible. Thing purrs like a baby, drops the top. We go get a cup of coffee and off we go into the canyons to see the vistas I grew up with. The beach, the water, the clouds. It's beautiful. And on Friday, after we woke up and took our drive, we went up into his bedroom and got out some hefty bags and started doing something that has taken him 2 years to even really get into. And that is to go through my mom's closet, to go through her things and lovingly fold them and put them away to do something else with. My sister couldn't, which I understand. So I flew home and spent 48 hours with my dad, touching all of the various fabrics, feeling all of her necklaces and going through every drawer. It wasn't a stuff everything in a bag kind of thing because my mom was a beautiful and elegant woman. She was always a lady. I can maybe count on one hand the number of times I heard her swear. And it was probably because she was quoting somebody who had. When she walked, when she was better, it was like she almost would glide across the floor. And there was a smell after I would kiss her that would be on my cheek. When my dad wasn't looking and we were going through her things, it started slowly. A couple shirts at first, and he would take them off the hanger, and I would hold them up, remember seeing her wearing this. When he wasn't looking, every now and again, I would try to steal a sniff and hope that maybe there'd be that lingering smell on anything. I didn't find it. But we did do a lot of really important work together. And on the first day, we went through the entire closet, called it quits. About supper time, got cleaned up and had dinner, and did the whole thing the next day again. My dad said it was a treasure hunt because about 20 years ago, my mom had lost a beautiful diamond tennis bracelet that he had given her probably 25 years ago. But she lost it after a couple years, but she knew she didn't lose it. She had put it somewhere in the event that they got robbed. We had been robbed before. Except she could never find it. For 20 years, she could not find that bracelet. And on Saturday morning, on the 4th of July, my dad walked into the closet and there was just a little small set of hooks where some of her costume jewelry was, beads and other bright things that she would wear. And he gasped and said, "Wendy, you have to come in here." And I walked in and I looked at the hooks, and he had pulled off a beaded bracelet, and there was my mom's diamond tennis bracelet. 20 years. It had been within inches of her every single day. And that was the third time in 2 years I let it go and dropped to my knees. It's not the diamonds. It's not the value. It's the memory, because I loved seeing it on her when I was younger. And I had said to my dad after she passed away, really one of the only things I'd love to have is that diamond bracelet. And he said, "Oh, Wendy, I'm so sorry. We've never been able to find it." We were meant to find it together. And I'm wearing it today. You know, it was a hard weekend, but we went through everything. Every drawer, her medicine cabinet, her cosmetics, brushes, her curling iron. And because we were each other's wingmen, we were able to get it done. And now I think my dad can move into the next chapter of his book. It's not over, but we at least turned a page. It's those memories. It's that connection. It's that family. It's that love. It's the smells that take you back 50 years. It's the flavor of something that hasn't touched your tongue since you were little. It is the fabric of our families. It is the crux of America. I didn't miss the fireworks. I wasn't sorry that we didn't eat hot dogs or dig into corn on the cob or what have you. We were able to mend some broken fences, clear up some things that needed to be fixed, and start fresh. My mom's clothes are now gone. And yes, I have her bracelet. But they can't take away all of those precious things that have the greatest value. Your memories. We're back now, and we're going to be busy. We're going to dig into a new week. We're going to dig into this summer. We're going to provide you what we believe is the most honest description of what's going on in this world. I had some closure this weekend. And if you're needing some, my wish for you is that you go on a treasure hunt too. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, nothing says Independence Day like rounding up dangerous people who never should have come here. I've got a number to drop on you that's going to absolutely melt your face. Promises made, promises kept. And yes, we voted for that. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Isn't that just wild? Just absolutely wild. I have no idea. I mean, I don't care if it's cubic zirconia. We freaking found it. Like we found it. And I just stood there and I was like, oh, so ridiculous. Like we were supposed to, just the two of us, not my sister and me, not just us, the two of us. It was just the neatest freaking thing. So anyway, I just wanted to
That's
share
one of
that.
those reasons I don't believe in coincidences.
It was just,
like
we went through every pocket, Brock, every zipper, every pouch, everything Dad took it out. He went through everything and I folded it and put it in a bag. We did that for hours. And but I wasn't giving up hope. I still felt like we were going to find it. Stupid. How's 20 years? 20
in plain sight.
In plain sight for me to find.
How many things can you miss?
So stupid. But really, really cool. Okay. So I blew it and I did not take Blood Flow 7 with me. And I wish I had because I slept like poo. And I will tell you that bloodflow7.com/Wendy, the product that opens up the blood vessels and makes more blood flow through your body. It changed my world. Okay. It changed my world. Daylight hours. I was able to do things. My dad's like, you don't stop. Right? Friday, my high from my Blood Flow 7 on Thursday, you don't stop. And then I was like, ew. I could tell. I'm like, I need it. It's a wonderful product, 30% off. Blood Flow changes everything, and it helps you sleep like a boulder. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I think we have Ghost Bed back this week again.
Yes.
I'm so excited. So we'll talk more about them. And I know a lot of you guys jumped on the Chef IQ, and I'm super pumped. Plus, I should say, Tulip Blooms has a special offer just for us. We missed them over the 4th, and so they're like, dang, we're going to hook you up with a promo. So I'll have some news on that front here soon for you. If you've been on the fence and maybe thought you might want to try it, might be a good time to try it. Anyway, I had no idea where I was going with that story. I hope it made sense.
I want to say it was 15 years ago. Jolene was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent flowers. And I think I've told you this story. And the flowers, and I went through FTD, and the flowers came from Nancy's flower shop, which just happened to be my mother's name. And everybody there realized it's coincidences. They're not coincidences. I truly believe that.
Because I'm telling you, they're all around you. And if there is unfinished business that you can address, you can dig into, pay attention to, do it. Do it. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Look, this is one of those stories that gets buried. And it's extraordinarily important because it's yet another way this administration and this president is keeping promises that he has made to us for the better part of 10 years. Whether it be build the wall, shut the border, deport people who ought not be here, and for God's sake, get the criminal offenders from other countries who the Biden administration enticed, lured, bribed, and paid off to come here. Get them the hell out. I don't care if that makes me sound terrible. Guilty as charged then. I love my country. I want it safe, and this president is doing that. How about this headline? ICE arrests 10,000 illegals across the United States in a 5-day span. A sharp surge in President Trump's deportation push. This has been going on behind the scenes, you guys. It's about to the tune of 30,000 deportations a month. This is huge. There goes the Democrat votes. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arresting 10,000 people over a 5-day stretch at the end of June, a massive surge for the agency carrying out President Donald Trump's mass deportation agenda. That works out to roughly 2,000 arrests every day. Every single day, 2,000. If ICE continues at this clip, that would mean 2 million deportations from the homeland by the time President Trump leaves office. And what? 18 million to go? The 5-day period ended Friday, June 26th. Friday, June 26th, ended Tuesday, June 30th. The arrest figures were obtained from a person familiar with the data. Apparently, they don't put out this stuff. It's not something that's widely publicized. And here's the interesting part. The agency shifted its approach. ICE did. Instead of the high-profile arrest sweeps in major American cities, ICE moved to quieter methods to reach the president's deportation goals. Smart. The crackdown on individual cities may have cooled, but the arrests are still surging. And this is the thing. These are not just people who came into this country 20 years ago, assimilated, started raising their families, and just, never made the time to go become a citizen. These are bad people. These are criminal, illegal aliens, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, gang members, and terrorists. And DHS's message is clear. If you come to our country illegally, we will find you. We will arrest you, and we will deport you. Now, that's relatively clear. But the arrest news comes as the number of people entered into those ICE detention facilities climbed in June to roughly 39,000. That is a jump after the number had been hovering about 30,000 a month. right? ICE doesn't publicly release the arrest data. And why would they? Because anytime they would go anywhere, you'd open the door to another Alex Preddy situation or a potential Renee Good. Look, this is very basic. This is like what the president asked of the head of FIFA with that red card situation. We're going to talk about that coming up in the next segment. We're not looking for extra. Be fair. Do what needs to be done to keep us safe. That's it. And you know what? A staggering number of Americans are not just down with the deportations of criminals. They want all illegals deported. This is a major transformation, you guys, and it's not even close. This is a Gallup poll, if I'm not mistaken. Harvard-Harris online poll. Trump's immigration policies, let's ask the question. 1,725 registered voters. Do you approve of deporting all illegal immigrants? Not just the criminals, not just the ones we know about who have done wrong other places and here. 56% of respondents expressed support for arguably Trump's signature 2024 campaign pledge, the largest deportation operation in U.S. history. That number included 77% of Republicans, 53% of independents, and 37% of Democrats. Meantime, deporting illegal immigrants who committed additional crimes while in the United States, it's a no-brainer. Massive bipartisan support. 90% of Republicans said absolutely. If you're in this country illegally and you're a monster, get the hell out. 90% of Republicans, 77% of independents, 71% of Democrats. Overall, it's an 80-20 issue. This is not complicated. What is we haven't had a CEO who represented the brand called America since the last time Trump was president. It's almost like we're rusty. We're not used to it. Having someone advocate on behalf of the law-abiding American citizen, what even is that? It's happening, and it's happening quietly, and it doesn't need pomp and circumstance and bells and whistles and wall-to-wall coverage. It won't be mentioned unless it's negative. It is positive, and 80% of us agree. Keep on keeping on, Mr. President. Now, when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, tonight, 5 o'clock, big match, right? U.S. Belgium, right? Why President Trump got in touch with FIFA to have them look at a red card suspension, what happened, and now how everybody's losing their minds. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Is it Belgium?
It's at 5 o'clock.
It is at 5 o'clock. I just heard. I'll verify that. What time is tonight's USA?
It'll be 5 o'clock Western. I think they're in Seattle.
They are in Seattle, so it'll be 8.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. 5 p.m. Eastern. That's what I had thought. 5 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be on at 2 there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it is 5 p.m.
It's 5 p.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so through tomorrow, let's see. Ashley, pick one promo and let me know, and I'll drop it here now.
See, CBS is 8.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, Perplexity
is wrong.
Is then wrong, which is frustrating. So, okay. Let's find out. USA, Belgium. Did it say 5 p.m. Pacific? What time Eastern? 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
I would have watched it if it was at 5.
I'll probably still watch it. I'll
watch the beginning probably.
Okay, so I'm texting right now with Ashley from Tulip Blooms, right? And she wants to give to you an extra 48 hours that nobody else has. And you will get a BOGO 50, buy one, get one half off, site-wide until Tuesday. So all day today, tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. You know what I say about this stuff. You know how I love it. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. BOGO 50 is your promo code. Okay? Buy one, get one 50% off. That's a pretty good deal. That usually saves you between 20 and 30 bucks. I'm going to say that's pretty nice. So try that. I love it. I just dropped it. Okay. I'm pleased with that because I definitely wanted to make sure she texted me over the weekend or right before the holiday. And I was like, I'm not going to be on the show, so I can't do this. And she's like, let's come up with something specific for your group. So there you go. All right. So the challenge, so President Trump picking up the phone and calling the head of FIFA, he's not asking for a favor. He's just saying, how about you review it? And just make sure you're cool with this call. We're going to hear from the president. He's asked about it in the Oval. Because then FIFA comes back and they're like, we blew it. We were wrong. And then Belgium, of course, is like, what? And now they're threatening. Apparently, they've petitioned. You've got this European soccer organization now getting involved. And like, that's ridiculous. You know, this is farcical. And it's like, so we'll see. Everybody has a perspective and everybody's entitled to that. Whatever. All I know is it's really nice to have a president who freaking stands up and fights for you. We were the punching bags for 4 years. 4 years. It's almost shocking. You're like, and they're like, oh, you're here to help me. It's so weird. I'm not used to that. Right? All right.
Why shouldn't the president step up?
100%.
What do they say? The answer is always no when you don't ask.
Right? He's advocating on behalf of the country. All right. Now, if there hadn't been controversy about it, he never would have. That's not what he does, right? But we're trying to do things. We're trying to get back to the business of following the rules, coloring within the lines, that there's law and order, that there's a thing called justice, that if you screw people, there should be punishment. And that's the only way we switch a system that doesn't work for we the people. And it's not just a Democrat thing. It's all of them thing. I'm tired of paying for it. Tired of it. Absolutely tired of it. Ireland contracting. If you live in Southwestern land before time, just write down 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You know, it's nice to be able to have somebody to bounce a second opinion off of. So if you had a roofer or somebody come out to your house and says, we can get you new windows, we can do this and that for you, we can put a new patio, we can give you new siding, anything on the outside of your house, and you live within Southwestern Pennsylvania, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. They'll come out. They'll give you an estimate. And then you'll have two. And then you can be like, this is different. And Ireland's is good, if I'm not mistaken, for up to a year. So you can save for your project. Like, God forbid, you shouldn't be gobsmacked by a huge bill. That's why I love them. Love them, love them. All right. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So, it's frustrating when you can see things on many levels. I don't want to be so like channel visioned that I can't possibly see where anybody who doesn't agree with my viewpoint stands. I want to be able to understand, even if you're crazy. I want to be able to diagnose you're crazy and see it coming 1,000 miles away. This argument over a red card that would kick out arguably the U.S. men's soccer team's best player out of tonight's round of 16 match in Seattle at Lumen Field, and it's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's created quite a controversy. So this is the headline from the Daily Mail. This is from the UK. This is the perspective from the UK. FIFA caves to Donald Trump after president made extraordinary phone call asking for red-carded USA World Cup star suspension to be lifted in a decision that has sent shockwaves through the sport. Now, that's an untrue, based on what the president is saying. That is an untrue statement. That is a fake news headline. And that is dripping in bias from the very get-go. That's sort of like President Trump called Vladimir Zelensky, asking him to investigate Trump's presumptive opposition opponent in Joe Biden. That's not what happened. That's what they told you happened. But when you looked at the transcript, you're like, yeah, that's not really what happened. That's not at all what happened. So let's read. The World Cup descended into farce on Sunday. After it emerged, Donald Trump personally called FIFA president Gianni Infantino to review the one-match ban handed to USA striker Folarin Balogun. Sure, I botched that. And I've been pronouncing it all day long to make sure I didn't botch it, and I botched it anyway. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the sport, the governing body confirmed that Balogun's free to face Belgium in the last 16 on Monday night. The game tonight. This is it. This is as far as America has gotten like ever, right? Despite being red carded in the US's win over Bosnia July 1st. White House sources have confirmed to the Daily Mail that Trump took the extraordinary step of reaching out to Infantino ahead of FIFA's staggering decision to suspend the ban. Now, when you read this, you're like, oh my gosh, is there nothing this man won't meddle in? Yeah, but that's not what happened. Now, if you go back to what happened in the prior game, it was widely considered a terrible red card. That what the player was fouled for or carded for was something that was ridiculous by and large. And I'm speaking as a soccer neophyte, a football neophyte, okay? So everyone was like, that is a garbage call. And President Trump just called the dude and was like, hey, maybe you ought to review it. He didn't say you better, switch it. You better reverse it. We want to win. This is all about America. Don't you understand? He's just like, I looked at it, he said, and it looked really soft to me. Now, if FIFA had gone the other way and they'd been like, yeah, we're going to stick with it, the president would have gone with that. That would have been the answer. This is what he's done to the Supreme Court. They rule against him. Frustrated by the decision, but it nevertheless is the decision. It just so happened that in this circumstance, FIFA overturned the suspension. And so now Team USA's arguably best player is going to be playing tonight. Now, Belgium, of course, is pissed. They're like, what? This is an outrage. And they're like, we're going to sue. Of course, they want America's best player sidelined because at the end of the day, whatever you can do to have an advantage, so let's go. Game on. I want you to hear what the president had to say when he was asked this morning. He was asked about 10 o'clock this morning, so just a couple hours ago, about the very situation. What happened? How did you happen to get involved? Let's see if this is an egregious overreach by a president who's trying to influence the soccer gods to make sure his team gets preferential treatment or not.
But all I did, I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was two great athletes that crashed into each other and got entangled. That was not a guy punching somebody in the face or anything that, would be different. And I think it's a terrible, if they wouldn't allow, a top player, maybe the best, maybe among the best players on the team to play, I think it would have had a big stain. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do. But and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. And they made the right decision because, number one, it wasn't a foul. And you want to see a game with your best players. You don't want to say, how would you feel if I took, we take Messi out? Look, he ran into somebody. Or we took Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you bunked into somebody, we're going to take you out of a game. He's great. Or Harry Kane. Harry Kane, we're going to take you out of the game, Harry, because you happen to hit somebody a little bit harder than you can't do that. If you would have taken him out, I think it would have really stained this incredible champion.
Okay, so it's not like the player cleated another player, did something intentional to injure, et cetera, et cetera. And President Trump was just like, look at it. And whatever you decide, you decide. It is what it is. But I, as the CEO of the country, am going to get up and I'm going to advocate for fairness. So look, and if you made the bad call, admit you made a bad call. Fix the call. If you stand by your call, stand by your call. I will respect your judgment. That's what it was. So now, CBS News moments ago, this crossing 5 minutes before we went on the air, of course, CBS is not taking Team America, is not USA strong. FIFA criticized for decision to lift U.S. star's red card suspension following Trump phone call. The Union of European Football Associations, Europe's soccer governing body, said FIFA, quote, crossed a red line and expressed its, quote, disbelief at a decision it called unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable. Let me ask you, did the refs make the right call? Now, if you talk to people in soccer who watch, and I live with a lot of them, it was a bad call. It was a bad call, right? So all the president was saying as he pulled out his Trump card was tap the brakes, tell me that you stand behind this, and if you do, okay, then we will move forward. FIFA decided not to, and it wasn't the guy who's in charge. It was, as the president said, a committee. Okay, so we can understand that people are going nutty in other countries. Oh, America, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean they're going to win. That doesn't mean that anything's going to happen today. Can we just play fairly? Can we just play fairly? And if you made a mistake, and they said they did, reverse it. Okay. I want you to hear Jim Gray, sportscaster on Fox. He's talking about what really was the rub, and it was FIFA's use of slow-mo review to gauge whether or not there was some infringement. When the game happens in real speed, when you slow it down, it looks far more egregious than when you look at normal speed. He says, Jim Gray does, that is the rub that led to the outrage about the red card. Listen.
When you go to the slow motion in any of this, it looks much, much different than it does in real time. And so sometimes it corrects things. Sometimes it amplifies something and sees something that's not as egregious as it looks because it's in slow motion. So all of this, hey, look, for Belgium, if they're good enough, they'll beat them with or without them. And if they're not, then they won't. The game is on the field. Here's a guy who's very important to the United States. This looks like it's accidental and not necessarily incidental contact, but part of the game. And it's an unfortunate thing that happened. He left the game. They had to play without him. They went ahead and won against Bosnia-Herzegovina. And so now he should be able to play on Monday night. They got it right. We keep coming back to the same point. If you're going to use instant replay and you're going to have appeals and suspensions, then there should be a process. And it looks like in this instance, the process is right based on what we saw on the field. Others are going to disagree, and others are going to say that it's favoritism because it's here in the United States. I don't see it that way.
Well,
Okay, so that's somebody who watches the game, he pays attention to the sports, it's his job. Okay, I'm just telling you what was said. Okay, so Belgians upset. Their association said it was astonished at the decision, yada, yada, yada. All right, tonight we'll see what happens, okay? But it's unusual, I think, when you're used to being penalized, when you personally have been used to being carded by your government unfairly and told this is the way things are, this is what you have to do to operate within polite society. Yeah, it's just a shot. Oh, it's just one rule. Oh, it's just for 15 days. Oh, it's just, temporary. It's transitory. It's just when that's what you're used to, this is a very unusual thing. And Americans are almost emerging from this like beaten slumber, shocked that we actually have a CEO who's paying attention. Okay? Love him or hate him, that's the story. Now, before we pivot and move on to something beyond soccer, I love this. This is not on my bingo card, a random act of journalism. I believe it's NBC. And it's a story of a guy who came here from Germany to watch his team, and he fell in love with Boston, and he fell in love with America, and literally is moved to weeping over his feelings. And I was astonished that this made air over the weekend. Enjoy.
Sorry.
It makes you teary. Why? Help us understand. Why is it so impactful to you?
Sebastian Krauss never imagined his trip to America would be so emotional.
Yeah. No, you're human. Happy tears. Yeah.
In just a few weeks being here,
I fall in love with this country, and this was so emotional. I even cried in the stadium.
It's a huge departure from what he was expecting before traveling to follow the German soccer team in its World Cup run.
To be honest, I was a bit scared or had the fear to travel to the United States. News about shootings and criminals and that the country is not safe. Bob takes us home. It's great. America is great.
Sebastian met a group of strangers who offered him a ride to his hotel.
What is the best city?
Boston.
That's Bob Series and his family, New Englanders who showed a group of Germans that Boston is warmer than some might believe.
Bob, thank you. I love USA.
Enjoy your time in the U.S.
To me, I watched the video by myself maybe 40 times. I had tears in my eyes.
Sebastian was more upset about the prospect of leaving America than Germany being eliminated from the tournament. That kindness he experienced is also what many locals and transplants have lived as well.
I loved living here. I thought the people were always so kind.
People here are very polite.
The World Cup just made it easier for folks to see.
I certainly talk to a lot more strangers than I normally do.
And you think it's because of the World Cup?
I do.
Americans are not rude, Germans are not rude. If we are together, we can achieve great things.
Sebastian's going to be sticking around for a little longer. He's going to spend the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. Then he goes back home to Germany to his family and friends. He's going to be telling them all about our country. And as for our Good Samaritan Bob, I spoke with him over the phone. He says that he's just trying to pay back all the kindness that he received when he traveled the world. And he agrees New England and Boston are actually a friendly place.
Who knew, right? Is it amazing that the world sees what so many of us living here ground level maybe don't? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Gavin Newsom uses America's 250th to see if the race card is still working in California. I'll tell you how he dropped it and how others piled on. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
My bad. That's
good. Okay. All right. So Texas Bullion Exchange, Wendy Loves Gold. WendyLovesGold.com. You know, I hooked up with them a couple years ago. We've never looked back. I can only tell you that if I do business with a company and they support this program and they're responsive to you, it's always a success. And they love you at Texas Bullion Exchange. They absolutely enjoy working with you because you're interested in learning about getting precious metals into your life and you're interested in making a sale. It's not just you're interested in doing it. And it's very easy. You can get a gold back IRA without spending any money. You can get physical gold and silver in your hands right now. And remember, the value of gold has gone up 7,000% ever since we left the gold standard in 1971. And the value of a dollar has pretty much lost 90% of its buying power. So you do the math, which sounds better to you. I love these people. They teach you. They are excited to be help you be a collector of something truly valuable that you can pass on to your next generation. WendyLovesGold.com. 855-927-5557. All right. So anyway, like I see people, I mean, Brock, you can understand how people are ticked off at the reversal of the suspension and what have you. But if you go back to the basic question, was it a red card offense? I think most people in the know would say no.
Well,
most people would say no is a lousy call.
I associate it with baseball. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
With the ABS system where, you see the catcher tap their head, and with instant replay on a safe or out. Like, I don't mind it. I mind an egregious call. I don't mind, even if it goes against my team, getting the call right.
Right.
Like,
I think that's what it is. I'm not.
That's fairness. Getting the call right is fair.
And if the call does not go your way, right? If it's reviewed and you lose the review, okay, you've got to walk away. That's the deal, right? When the Supreme Court makes a decision and you don't like it, you got to walk away. You can't bitch about it. You have to come up with a way to either amend it through Congress, through a constitutional amendment or what have you. But bitching about it and saying that you're a victim of something does nobody any good. Okay.
Here's what I don't
That's
understand.
how grown-ups have to deal with stuff, right?
And I'm not a soccer viewer, football, whatever you want to call it. But like, I could see an egregious play and you get suspended. But that wasn't like egregious. I don't understand why you get suspended for the next game. It's not like you like hauled off and punched a guy or deliberately took him out.
We were watching last night, and a player, whatever the teams were, I mean, I'd just gotten home from California. It was a long day. And there was a player that slid. He didn't even slide. He slid, but he had spikes up, right? And dug into the player's leg.
Yeah.
And
if you've ever been spiked, trust me, it hurts.
And the other one that we're talking about, it was when you slow it down, it looks like a tripping but that's the course of full speed play. You're moving where you can move, and apparently enough people thought it was a bad call. Okay. But again, this wouldn't have been anything had Trump, his name not been involved, of course. Had it been Howard Lutnick? Just him? Okay.
In the first, they pulled him from the game. He had to sit the rest of the game. Okay. Like, just as not a soccer guy, okay, you took him out for the rest of the game. But the next game, I mean.
A lot of people are talking about switching it up. So you have more like a penalty box. So you play with a man disadvantage for a period of time.
Right.
5 for a yellow, 10. In my dad's neighborhood in Southern California made me happy. Putting out a flag is not a political statement. It is a sign of I love this freaking country. I love it. And I love the people who have come out and used the 250th birthday celebration of this phenomenal constitutional republic, this great American experiment to drag us, to diss us, to somehow make you feel guilty for the glory of being an American. And it's such a shame. They're all leftists. Oh, knock it off. Gavin Newsom tried it. He used the birthday celebration this weekend, kind of to see if the race card is still working at all in California, right? We'll talk about the federal investigation into Newsom and his wife's nonprofits and the mole in his administration who wore a wire in just a moment. But I want you to hear this. This is Gavin Newsom, the guy who's the governor of California, who wants to be your next Democrat president of the United States, saying, happy anniversary birthday, America. Oh boy, listen.
And we watched Donald Trump illegally seize control of California's own National Guard and march our soldiers in the streets of Los Angeles against the will of the state, against the law, against everything those uniforms are supposed to stand for. Hear me clearly. That was a test run, a rehearsal. He's measuring how far he can go and who would dare stop him. Certainly not our Supreme Court, not with the evisceration of the Voting Rights Act, the outright hostility to equal representation, particularly for Black Americans, the slicing and dicing of our congressional districts.
Gavin doesn't like it when things get fixed so that they're constitutionally fair. Racially gerrymandering things to benefit the Democrats. Yeah, that wasn't fair, Gav. Just so you know. That is how Gavin Newsom celebrated the 4th of July. Consumed by Donald Trump. I mean, like, what are these people going to do when Trump leaves office? When he's no longer an everyday thing? How on earth are these people going to survive? The president is going to steal the process, and he's never going to lose again. Gavin, happy 4th, bro. Have a sparkler and a hot dog, okay? Maybe a beer or 6. Here's Hank Johnson. This is that rock star, Rhodes Scholar from the great state of Georgia, who managed to show up in the House of Representatives somehow saying blacks will be picking cotton if the GOP wins in November. Well, that's kind of a leap, don't you think?
It's a GOP war on Black America. And if we don't stand up and fight back, we're going to be back in the cotton fields. And when I talk about fighting back, I'm not talking about taking up arms. I'm talking about taking it to the streets in protest and also by exercising our precious right to vote. We're going to have to get out in November and vote, like John Lewis said, like our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it this time.
Did you hear that? Our lives do depend on it this time. I mean, all the other times that we tried to race bait you into being scared and showing up to vote. Hey, if you're so worried, I'm going to drop a red card on this one, right? I'm pulling it. Here we go. Hank Johnson, you've been carded. By the way, sir, if you're worried about black votes not mattering, then why aren't you completely on the side of the GOP in getting rid of illegal aliens who were imported here to do just that? Don't talk about what we're trying to do to clean up elections so that mystery votes don't keep showing up for the wrong person and the wrong ideas days, if not weeks after an election. This is from the guy who legit thought a proposed military buildup on Guam would cause the island to capsize. Okay? So for him to be like, look, I know we've been fear-mongering you for years, that they hate you black people, but this time I'm serious. This time I'm real. I mean, like, and by the way, happy 4th of July. It's ridiculous. When we come back, it's so ridiculous. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program, the feds put a wire on a Democrat insider who records conversations involving the Newsoms. Uh-oh. Next. I mean, now that you hear how much they've been beating the same freaking withered and battered pinata, right? It's the same damn shell of something. Whack! Yeah, we're on to your games. Sorry. Anywho, I want to tell you about GLP-1 Gold. I had a couple different people reach out to me over the weekend and be like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I need to lose some significant weight. And if there's something that is safe that I can take as a dietary supplement to stop me from wanting to eat more than I should, and lo and behold, maybe have me not eat a meal 1 meal a day. What is that? What is that product? It's called GLP-1 Gold. And that's from our friends at Juvenon. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. 30% off. You take it, and it does exactly what it says it's going to do. It stops you from eating when you shouldn't be eating. That's it. And it's not for just a casual couple days. Like, if you want to lose significant weight, this is the product from Juvenon. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy takes you to the spot. 30% off everything. I like it. Let's see how you guys are doing. It's good to be with you. It was a wild weekend. And then I had like major transportation issues coming home. It was almost like I was forced to sit, and I had to sit on a plane for a couple hours on the tarmac as this wild weather was blasting through Pennsylvania. So we had to sit out this storm, and all westbound traffic from Reagan. I got sent to Reagan, which is awful. It's not awful. It's just why fly past where you're going. It's so stupid. So we had to sit there, and it's like I had to, like, I was forced to, without internet access and whatnot, just like sit with my thoughts, which is sobering. It's tough to do sometimes because you're forced to go through stuff that you wish you had done differently or what have you. I'm glad I took my Healthy Cell this morning, that Calm Mood. I really do recommend that. I really do recommend it. I was sitting next to a young woman on the flight on the tarmac, and she had a service dog. She obviously has some really bad anxiety. She had to be maybe between Michael and Jack's age, maybe 25. Super cute, really anxious. She had this service dog who was a really cute little thing, and she was very agitated about all things going on with this flight. And I wanted to be like, take this and it'll take the edge off. Calm Mood. It's the one I've been taking from healthycell.com/Wendy. It does just, it puts you in a frame of mind where nothing seems that insurmountable, right? You're just like, okay, I can deal with that. Healthy Cell. I love their formulations. Remember, these are the microgels. It's just such a smart way of getting supplements into our body, down to the cellular level. You got to get it into the bloodstream. That's what it does. 165% more absorbed. Healthycell.com. 20% off your first order. I love them. So 1.52, you guys are doing really well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Ginge. What's going on, Decreech? Hi, Fusco. A Fusco. John. Hi, John. He said, hey, sweetheart. I'm assuming he's talking to me and not you.
I'm used to it.
Never know. Never know. What do you mean you're used to it? Do you
Being
want John?
ignored.
Oh, being ignored. Right. Right. That's what's going on. So you know that great video we played on Thursday, the 5.5-minute one of all of the people celebrating all things World Cup. So I played that for my dad, and I played a little, like, my intro to it. I don't think he's ever seen me do this. He doesn't watch. He hasn't seen me before. And I got to play it for him and then go into that video, which was just breathtaking. And he wanted to see it twice, and then asked me to share the video so he could send it to some friends of his. I'm like, I know, it's super. This is what we should be talking about.
I played it for my brother, and he turned and said, play that video for Jolene.
Right. Right. 100%. I loved it. And you sent it to me as well over the weekend.
Can I be at full transparency?
Yeah, it was a mistake.
What's that?
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Yeah. Well,
But
why did you have to say that? You didn't have to tell me that. Whatever. It could have been something really nice that you knew I was going to be doing something heavy, and you thought about me and maybe sharing something that was going to make me smile. See, now I feel much better about it than you just being like, oh, goops, I blew it. My big fat fingers hit the wrong button. Whatever.
I did know you'd like it.
You can poo in my mouth. Whatever.
I knew you'd like it.
You know what? Damage done. Creep back into the crevices over there. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well.
See? All right, let's get some kind of a poll going. What do I want to ask you guys? Did anything exciting or special or different or shocking or weird happen to you this weekend? I mean, I'm totally blown away by this. Just sitting there. Can you imagine finding something 20 years after you misplaced it and it was sitting right next to you every single day?
I had a drink at 9:43 in the morning.
Wow. Yeah, demand is calling you out. Brock was drinking beer and cutting grass. Apparently, you posted that on your social media.
I did. I asked if you could get pulled over for mowing drunk. Well, listen, and this is for everyone. When someone's mowing grass and it's 98 degrees outside and they ask for a beer,
don't give them a triple IPA.
Don't give them a triple IPA.
I'm just gonna say, as much as I like being able to feel my gums, I don't need them to be numb on a trailer.
And then I got another one. I asked for another one, but not once again. It was 7%.
You need a little.
So I had two of them.
That's 7%.
I had two of them in 45 minutes.
A triple is 7%.
No, that was the second one. The triple one was the first one. Was 9.
Oh, lush. 4,300 people. It's great to see you guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain scared to death of Trump. Trump, 75 million, 80 million votes. And I'm going to tell you, you're not going anywhere. Even if Trump does, you're not. Which I think remains one of our big campaign strengths going forward. They can't separate you from Trump. And more importantly, they can't separate you from the ideas. They can't separate you from MAGA. They can't separate you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. This just in. FIFA rejects Belgian appeal and Balogun is going to play. Yes, let's go USA. One way or another, it would have worked out. Like, whatever. Sometimes you got to come from behind. Sometimes stuff goes sideways. But in this instance, I think it's fair. But of course, I'm biased. I'm an American. It is what it is. Okay, let's talk about this. Gavin Newsom, the typical Democrat response when they're called out for potentially breaking the law, embezzling money, wire transfer fraud, tax fraud, whatever it is, pilfering money out of welfare, whatever it is to ignore the allegations and instead pivot and blame Trump. What about him? And it's really obnoxious and it's very tired and it doesn't get us anywhere. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you and I, as members of this team called USA, never get the satisfaction of seeing dirtbags, regardless of their political proclivities, put in jail. There's no punishment. There's no end game. There's no finality. I'm so tired of it. It's like we're dangling, waiting for stuff to happen. So this story about the FBI infiltrating Gavin Newsom's inner circle by convincing governor's ally to wear a wire is a very intriguing story. So let's dig into this a little bit because this is why Gavin had his boxers in a bunch over the holiday weekend. FBI had a mole inside Governor Gavin Newsom's political orbit before the agency's corruption probe expanded into the governor and his wife. The Post has learned, and this is very interesting because this is not Trump's DOJ. This is not Trump's FBI looking into Gavin Newsom. It was Joe Biden's. It was Joe freaking Biden's. Democrat insider Alexis Podesta, 45. No relation, by the way, to John Podesta, I checked. Secretly recorded conversations during the criminal probe into Newsom's then chief of staff, Dana Williamson, who pled guilty to federal fraud and tax charges in May. This is according to Williamson's attorney. Interesting. The revelation that she was wearing a wire, this Alexis Podesta woman, as far back as June 2024, explains why a swath of Sacramento political insiders and lobbyists was stunned to receive FBI letters last fall, informing them that their phone calls had been intercepted during the investigation, despite many having little or no connection to Williamson. Alexis wore a wire, and Dana did not, said Williamson's lawyer, former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of California. The Eastern District of California is now investigating the Newsoms. This guy wants to be president. He's got more issues regarding his finances. It is not even funny. And his defense isn't, let's open up my books. I didn't do anything wrong. Like President Trump calling FIFA, review the play, review the call. If it's the right call, stick by the call. If it's the wrong call, right? If Newsom's innocent, you would be like, look, I don't know what you guys think you've got on us, but here I am. Open the books. I'm here to comply. You can't. Everybody knows it. Within hours of the announcement, Newsom let that he was wiretapped, basically. Newsom blasted out an email to raise money for his political action committee. Can you even imagine the stones on this guy? I didn't do anything wrong, but please give to me in my self-defense. I need to pay my $18,000 mortgage, and that's on just one property, right? Assembly member Josh Hoover told the Post he was among those who received one of the letters from the DOJ, basically that he'd been part of this phone call wiretapping situation. I don't know how these investigations work, but it sounds like they cast a pretty broad net across the Capitol community to see what they could find. Look, they know darn well what's going on, and you don't just throw together a wiretap or the ability to secretly, surreptitiously record people without a whole process, right? There is a giant process. Now, this is interesting because this is Gavin Newsom. He says he's being targeted. Gavin is being targeted. And this is what he had to say. And this is how you know he's nervous. He uses the birthday of America basically to attack the Supreme Court for striking down the Democrat. This is what he does. Brock, did I have two separate sound bites? One that we used already and one that this is a new one. This is a new one. Okay, let's listen to what he had to say because it's not about his innocence. It's all about Trump. Trump. Interesting.
And we watched Donald Trump illegally seize control of California's own National Guard and march our soldiers in the streets of Los Angeles against the will of the state, against the law, against everything those uniforms are supposed to stand for. Hear me clearly. That was a test run, a rehearsal.
That was a test run, a rehearsal. Gavin Newsom used the holiday to say President Trump is going to try to steal the elections. He's coming after me, and if he's coming after me, he's going to come after you. No, see, Donald Trump isn't a part of this. The DOJ pulled out a red card and said, you know what? There's some funny business going on. Anonymous, our favorite from deepfake quotes, Anonymous put together a little video. You just don't throw together a wiretap. You just don't throw together electronic surveillance of anyone, let alone a sitting governor. It is a pretty laborious process, and it looks like Joe Biden's DOJ jumped through all of the hoops to make sure this started happening in May or June of 2024. Listen.
So, you've just learned the FBI obtained a court-authorized wiretap. Now what? The first thing you should realize is the FBI can't simply decide to wiretap a governor, a mayor, a senator, or anyone else. First, they have to convince federal prosecutors. Then, they have to convince a federal judge. Not with rumors, not with political disagreements, with probable cause. And even that isn't enough. They also have to show the traditional investigative methods, interviews, subpoenas, surveillance, confidential informants, either failed or are unlikely to succeed or would be too dangerous. A court-authorized wiretap is supposed to be one of the last investigative tools, not the first. Does that mean you're guilty? No. That's what the investigation and, if necessary, a trial are for. But it does mean this. Multiple layers of the justice system concluded there was enough evidence to authorize one of the most intrusive investigative techniques our government possesses. So, if you ever learn that the FBI obtained a court-authorized wiretap, you should understand exactly what it took just to get there. My friends, we are all anonymous.
You know what's interesting about this whole situation is it was whistleblowers within his own administration that reached out to Joe Biden's Department of Justice years ago and said, look, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. And you need to know about it. Now, the same way President Trump pulled out his own card and asked FIFA, review the play, review the penalty. Is it a red card or not? You decide, right? Gavin Newsom is saying now, don't look at the evidence. Don't look at all of the things my wife has been doing. Don't look at our lavish lifestyle. Don't try to reconcile our expenses, which we are forced to disclose, which with the money we're bringing in, something's not adding up. We're living like this, but we're bringing in this amount. It doesn't really work. He's saying it's targeting. Look at the president. He's doing this to me because I'm going to be the opponent probably for JD or Marco Rubio. That's not what it is, Gavin. See, either you broke the law or you didn't. Either the call was good or it wasn't. Open the books, show us the papers, defend your case. Because when you try to smokescreen, when you created January 6th, when you want all of our eyes going somewhere else, we know exactly where we need to stay, and that is firmly on you. Again, the detail and how hard it is to get a federal judge to approve electronic surveillance. Democrats can't afford another corrupt criminal as its representation. We've already been there. We were there with freaking Hillary. And then we got Biden and the whole crime family syndicate. Can the Democrat Party afford 3 strikes and you're out? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, look, the media, they still do not believe that there was any kind of vandalism at the Washington Monument reflecting pool. Lincoln Monument. Was it Lincoln? Yeah. What? I forget. So, poor Interior Secretary Doug Burgum has to slap CNN down. It is blistering, and it is worth the price of admission. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. This goes to show you, very importantly, how very little research these news anchors do as they sit in their air-conditioned sets and they try to tell you what the news is. Well, you don't know. Did you go to the reflecting pool? Did you see what was going on? No. Because Dana Bash proves to you she has no freaking idea what she's talking about. But if it's something that can somehow sully this administration, well, by all means, let's go. And Doug Burgum, bless his heart, freaking skewers her. I don't know what your obsession is, sweetness. But yes, there's proof of vandalism. Shocker to nobody.
They know. They rely on you not to question them.
100%.
And why do they do that? Because you haven't.
They're used to being able to. This is the same way Gavin and Jennifer Newsom are used to getting away with living high on the hog or off the hog, and doing so with no culpability, no scrutiny, no microscope.
Does it make you question that someone high up in the Democrats didn't want him?
Who?
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is why this was never supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Trump wasn't supposed to win the second time.
Right. I don't think I think Gavin he's just not that bright to begin with. He's greased, but there's no substance. Everybody sees it. Do you guys want to go really another summer like last summer where you hardly slept because you were too hot? Sleeping hot is the worst. And your heat can actually get trapped in your mattress. And so even if you flip things around and flip your pillow, you're still roasting in your own body heat until you get Ghost Bed, ghostbed.com/Wendy. You're going to stay cool all night. How is it possible? Well, they have cooling technology that's built into every single mattress. It's not just the more expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. It's standard on every single Ghost Bed mattress. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. You've got to read some of the reviews. They're off the charts, and they offer incredible support. You wake up feeling less stiff. You sleep more deeply. You feel more rested in the morning. And it's true because you don't wake up. That's it. So they offer 101 nights for you to try Ghost Bed at home, comfort of your house. So sleep on it all summer long. And if you don't like it, okay, get your money back. You won't want your money back. You'll just want your Ghost Bed. You'll fight people. Don't take it. 10% off. Use my name, ghostbed.com/Wendy. Promo code Wendy. You're welcome.
What's happening on X?
What? I know. Why do we have 1,900 people watching on X? I know it's because I'm fabulous, but I am every day. And I don't know where y'all have been. We're up to almost 4,600 on Rumble. Hi. August 17th, we're moving 10 until 1. I know we've kind of dragged you guys all over the place, but it's a good reason. We're picking up 23, maybe 24 stations, and they're taking us live. So we're like, hell yeah, we're going to do that. Mm-hmm.
They like me. They really like
Sally Field. Was that her? Isn't that her? They like. Anyway, I've got Ashley Gunnels from Tulip Blooms. You already have Wendy sales. Of course we do.
Stuff's worth it.
Yes, it's good. Like, I'm not going to tell you buy this if it sucks. I'm not going to tell you sleep on a Ghost Bed if it sucks. You're going to be like, oh dear God, thank you. So nice. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. You're welcome. We'll take up a sympathy pot for Brock so we can get his. Maybe we'll buy you a little Ghost Bed topper for your new mattress at Tom and Jolene's.
Wow.
Or bed. So the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Was vandalized. We know it was vandalized. Only a moron thinks it was some kind of Trump ineptitude hiring somebody who never had a federal contract before, but who's laid pools and done pool liners all of his life. We shouldn't blame the guy who's a real estate mogul, a guy who's built more like hotels, resorts, casinos, golf courses, and has pools all over the place. Yeah, that guy, that president, he doesn't know how to get the job done. Right. That's exactly what happened. No, you had people who had to go and burn 8647 into the mall grass and put chemicals and fertilizer in the water and fudge up the water and create an algae mess, and who can't enjoy something beautiful being fixed if President Trump fixes it. It's called true derangement. It is pathological. It is, I'm sure, diagnosable. And Dana Bash is one of the premium people who's afflicted by it. Here she is, Interior Secretary Doug Burgum. The guy's in charge of all of these renovations around the Capitol the president has ordered. And so he knows damn well what he's talking about. She can't figure it out. She's like, look, this is a journalist who has not done her homework, but is triggered by Trump, who has got nothing to discuss ahead of the 250th celebrations. This is before Saturday, other than something that she thinks is going to hurt President Trump. Here's the setup to Doug Burgum. Listen.
They defended the expediting contract in order to try to get it fixed in time for July 4th. Now, of course, chunks of paint are peeling off the floor. The algae has returned. What went wrong?
Well, the algae is all gone. I mean, that was a momentary thing as as it was being refilled. There was algae in the pipes, but the new technology, the nanobubblers that have been installed, if you go down there today and look at it, it is completely clean and clear. And so for the first time, there's actual solution that involves making sure that we've got an algae-free pond. It keeps being reported that this was paint. It was not paint. This was an industrial liner that was put into the pool for the very first time. Multiple layers, fixing 2.5 miles of expansion.
But it peeled off. Why? Why did that happen? Do you know?
It didn't peel off. There was vandalism. There was box cutters. There have been 7 arrests. There was people literally trying to destroy part of a monument. The reflecting pool is not just a pool on the mall. It is part of the Lincoln Memorial. And if anybody says that they're going to go and vandalize that, it's no different than if someone was throwing paint
And you're
on Lincoln
100%
itself.
sure that what happened with the liner was vandalism. You can prove it.
Oh yeah, absolutely can. And as we drain it, and we've got all the photographs we can see. I mean, there's no possible way.
There are photographs of a person or people cutting a 300 or 350 foot gash in the bottom of the reflecting pool.
What is up with this broad? Do you really think Trump is an idiot and that it's just peeling off because they suck at what they do because that's so his MO, right? Really? The guy who's going to launch 800,000 shells for the 4th of July is going to half-ass it with the... You're an idiot. And she exposes that. The Interior Secretary then breaks news to Dana, whatever her name, Dana, that she should have known as a reporter and all. Here we go.
Dana, I'm not sure why you and others in the media think that you want to keep trying to question whether or not this is an industrial liner. Every farmer and rancher in America that's had their pickup liner lined by this sprayed-on liner knows that you literally, it would never just like peel off or fall off. This is like a strong material, and it's the size of 8 football fields. And the only way you can end up with actual slices in one spot and not the other is that someone physically cut it.
Newsflash. Listen, as she's like, yeah, She's not listening because he's rebuking and rebutting her argument that this is just a failure for the Trump administration because they don't know people to hire. What a fool. And then she absolutely exposes herself. She knows zero. All she knows is that she hates Trump.
Mr. Secretary, you and I talked about this last month.
Yeah, and we're still talking about it.
Well, because it was July 4th and the reflecting pool was closed.
It was closed because it's surrounded by fireworks. It's closed every year on the 4th of July.
But it was closed prior to that in order to fix the reflecting pool.
But it was closed because the largest fireworks display in the country we talked about was set up, and it lines either side of the reflecting pool. You can't have people around fireworks when they're being set up. Now that the fireworks will come down, the fence will come down. The fence was there because of the fireworks.
Copy that.
Copy that, Dana. I'm going to tell you that it's been going on for years that they closed the area around the reflecting pool because it's really nicely centrally located. And whoosh, that's where they send fireworks. It was closed off so that could happen and nobody would be injured. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, moving on then. No, if you're not even going to do basic homework, you ought not be on television. So I'm going to throw a red card of my own. I'm going to bring it out. Do you drop one? Do you expose one? Do you pull one? Do you lay one? I'm doing it. Red card on Dana Bash. You suck. And this is why people who pay attention to CNN have one view of this president, one view of this administration, one view of America, and it's freaking negative. What a crying shame. There is an antidote. It's called turning off the television. It works. I'm telling you, solid. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, America will not support communism, period. I have proof of that. Next. Like, honestly, it takes a nanosecond to Google why is the reflecting pool behind barricades, sort of like the Capitol when Joe Biden allegedly was inaugurated, or the Supreme Court, right? So interesting. Or MSG for Taylor Swift's wedding. Isn't it so funny how these people who hated the walls are so un-American. They want walls getting married, and they don't want the riffraff anywhere near. Kind of like Nancy Pelosi's wall around her palatial estate. Other than that, I hate walls. They're just so racist. Okay. Anyway, the Simkovich Concussion Institute. I grew up suffering from migraine headaches. Very, very debilitating headaches. People toss migraine around like it's nothing. There are people who suffered far more than I did, but I'd tell you, I will say I probably spent days of my life, if you were to add up all the time I was down for the count, days of my life in bed, in the dark, miserable. And if you suffer headaches commonly, you should not be. Simple as that. Simple as that. You ought not be. And if you feel like I did, very alone, helpless, and in pain, it's an extraordinarily dark place. It doesn't have to be like that. Please call 412-366-3700. Please call. Please write that number down. And I mean that because Dr. Simkovich and the Simkovich Concussion Institute fix people, whether it's traumatic brain injury, a concussion, something you suffered as an accident in sports, what have you, including chronic headaches. He'll fix you. 412-366-3700, SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. I mean that 100%. He's here in Pittsburgh. People come in from all over the country because they get healed in like a week. What I would have given. Right? What I would have given.
Did any of you watch Fox on July 4th? I know, obviously, you didn't, Wendy. When they made everybody go into this, like, these different places. They called it bunker, but just to get away from the weather.
No, I watched zero.
They went in where these World War II veterans were. One dude
like
was
107.
104 years old. And I'm watching, and my niece is sitting there too. She's 18 years old and is not conservative. And we're sitting there, and the lady goes, "You're 104 years old." And I looked at her, and she looked at me. I'm like,
I'll have what he's
"How old do
having."
you think he was?" She goes,
Yeah.
"I would have thought like 85." Because we didn't know he was a World War II veteran until they said it in his age. And I'm like,
There aren't
and
that
then
many
Jolene comes walking by. I'm like, "Hey, how old do you think he is?" She goes, "Probably mid-80s." And my niece is like, "He's 104."
Right.
She's
And
like,
the
"Oh
stuff
my."
that he
I-
saw.
But
and
hearing them tell their stories,
did.
and they were waiting for Trump to speak, and they said, if he waits, we'll wait. We want to meet him.
Right on.
It was some of their best programming, as sad as that is.
It's amazing how so much of this is not complicated. It should not be. The 4th of July should not be a political stumping space.
Hello, you're independent. You get to have guns and
It's-
say what you want.
It's like Christmas, right? It's family, it's friends, it's celebration. It's take your bread and soak up the gravy. Yeah, what's going on with X?
I don't
30
know.
who's-
3,300?
Yeah, who on X? You guys are in the comments section. Tell me what's going on. Somebody is sharing us, and and people are finding out that we're fabulous. So, welcome if you're new. Wendy Bell Radio. That's what we do. It's who we are. Tell the truth.
Here's the
Love
thing.
America. It's not complicated.
There's 3,300 watching, but no comments.
What are you doing?
At least tell us how you found us. 3,300? 34?
4,600 on Rumble. Great to be with you guys. It was always fun when we'd have somebody who would share us, and then all of a sudden we get like 15,000 people, and you're like, what? It was so much fun, right? Anywho, let's see what else is going on.
Now I'm going to keep an eye out for comments.
Oh, see how people found us. I love this game. It's so much fun.
How you found us, why you found us, and where's
Where's
you're from.
Waldo? How did you? Yeah, let's introduce yourself. Go into the comments section here.
Yeah.
Tell us.
35. I mean, it's just ticking up.
Yeah, I don't understand. I know. It's hard to break away once you see it.
See what?
Jag.
No.
Let me tell you,
Nope.
fudgesicles. It would have been good because you guys need to know. This whole socialist thing is just so ridiculous, so dumb.
Let's try and trigger the socialists.
Oh, that's a fun game.
Yeah,
Who's in?
I'm in.
Let's go.
Trigger warning for leftists.
Isn't it? Your happiness, your joy, your feeling about this great country, that's yours. That's your choice. You decide. Nobody gets to take that away from you. And people who are miserable jerks, who hate this place, who want you to be separated from your connection to your idea of what it means to be an American. These people who have to drive a wedge between you so that they can come in and burn it all down and build it up into something that's more fair for everybody. They suck. And they're called socialists, which is really code for communists. That's what's going on. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, I had an opportunity to pepper in this segment some audio clips of people just being jerks. Just being miserable jerks, from Barack Obama, more of Gavin Newsom, right? Some other people, stars, Hollywood people, nobody who matters, honest to God. You know what matters? You and the people you love. That's it. And every now and again, there's a calendar turn, and you get to freaking sit back and celebrate and be proud and love it and taste it, and to share that with your children. What a gift. What a blessing. What a bunch of jags on the left who are like, wah, wah, wah. I hate 4th of July. I hate America. America sucks. Well, you know what? How about we do something? You pack your stuff up and you can get the hell out. Okay? Because the Trump administration is very gracious when it comes to these rides out of town. They offer $2,000 of cash, I think, and a free one-way ticket to illegal aliens who've been living here, who ought not be. Toodly-doo. We'll help you relocate. Bye-bye. How about that? See, these people won't. It's a choice. You have a choice. And I had a choice today to play that sound, and I chose not to. I don't need to hear it anymore, right? But make no mistake, this whole idea of us becoming a socialist / communist country is farcical. And Democrats are playing a very dangerous game. Because most of us just want to be left alone. We pay attention, but we don't get involved until you force us to. And there are a hell of a lot of people like me out there. I don't really care what you do until you force me to care. And when you force me to care, watch out. Some very interesting sound over the weekend. There's a montage as President Trump calls socialism, communism, a mortal threat to American liberty. He legitimately used time in his Independence Day remarks to America and to the world. This is a threat, a mortal threat to American liberty. It is the greatest threat to our country. It is not something we will let happen quietly. You will not overtake our communities. You will not change what makes America great, period. And if you think you will, good luck. Here is a montage we found of a bunch of these Democrat Socialists of America, these candidates, these members. There are 4 of them who are featured in this particular audio clip. If you're listening and not watching, I will encourage you to imagine that 3 of the 4, and you'll probably be able to tell which, are transgender people, finger wagging us about how America sucks. Interesting. They're DSA members from Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco, and Portland. And they say, we need to break this system of imperialism and rebuild. Look, I'm just trying to pay my taxes. I'm trying to put food on the table, raise 5 kids, right? Raise 5 future husbands for 5 lucky young women out there, hopefully, right? I don't need to hear about colonialism and imperialism and all of this fascism. How about you shut up and go away? It's the freaking 4th of July. Okay, here you go.
And, we have a unique responsibility to act from the heart of empire, the belly of the beast. The most important thing that we can do is take that empire down from within.
Our role ultimately is to facilitate our own empire's failure in ways that we can, ultimately to overthrow our own empire.
U.S. imperialism is not a thing that can be reformed away. It has to be overthrown through revolutionary struggle.
And to build a mass movement that can use the leverage of workers to hit the kill switch on American imperialism here within the American empire.
That last person, clearly a man, Sarah. Sarah's an ugly, ugly chick. I'm just going to say.
That's because Sarah isn't a chick.
Sarah's name is Mike.
With a
but
if you want to identify as a woman, identify the hair salon too.
Anyway, so this is what they're saying. We're going to break imperialism, colonialism, blah, 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 whatever that means. Really? What we'd like is for you to get a job, right? Go get a job, be a productive member of society, and stop trying to, I don't know, foment division and frustration that really doesn't exist, except in your own weird bubble of psychological torment. Whatever you're going through, I wish you a speedy diagnosis and expeditious assistance, okay? That is the giver in me, but we're tired of you. Here's President Trump in the Oval, asked about Zoran Mamdani. You see his little address sitting behind a George Washington desk, sitting on the back side of it. And nothing says I love America about like being surrounded by a bunch of immigrants and finger wagging the American people about how much we suck. Here's President Trump. In no way is this going to be something that overtakes America. Thank you, Mr. President.
President Zoran Mamdani said in an interview this week that he was open to being the poster child for socialist candidates. Are you worried about more socialist candidates across the United States?
I think it's a big threat to our nation, actually, because it's not socialism, it's really communism. They use the word social democrat because it sounds so nice, but it's really communism you're talking about. I think it's the biggest threat to our nation there is, maybe since our founding. That includes World War I, World War II, September 11th. It includes the Pearl Harbor attack. I think this is the biggest threat to our nation. People will smile when I say that, but the smart people are going to say, he's probably right. It's basically introducing communism into the United States of America. There's never been anything so dangerous.
Killing our people in war is a far different story than wanting to erase America's history. Blow it up and start with your own. That is a way more insidious threat. And the president is right to call it out. Dana Bash, after getting her butt handed to her by Doug Burgum, limps over to talk to Josh Shapiro, the governor of my land before time. And she asks the wannabe presidential hopeful, thinking that in any way the Democrat Party would allow a Jew to become their candidate. Wouldn't happen, which is disgusting to say, but factual. She's asking about Daria Lisa, the New York commie. What does her winning her borough tell you about your party? Interesting response here from Josh Shapiro.
Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, she was a PhD candidate at Columbia, an organizer. She called for the abolition of prisons, open borders, ended deportations, even people convicted of violent crimes. She attended a pro-Palestinian rally on October 8th, 2023, a rally that reportedly featured some real anti-Semitic rhetoric justifying the attack. How do you feel as a Democrat about someone with those views being in the United States Congress?
I mean, look, her district voted for her. But I have profound differences from that particular candidate, you know, based on the citations that you read there. And she's not someone, you know, who seemingly I would agree with on many things or that we share similar values. She ran on the Democratic ticket, I guess, as a socialist. Her voters in that district determined that she was the one they wanted representing her.
Well, what does that tell you about your party?
I think what our party has to go through that will be very healthy and something we've not really done since the 1992 election cycle is to have a battle over what we believe in.
What do you believe in? Beyond hating Trump, beyond resisting the president, beyond all of that single focus, tunnel vision, hate, hate, hate. Because dude's gone in a couple years. What's going to feed you? What's gonna burn you? What's gonna get you to stand up and quote unquote do the right thing? Not much. What is it that we believe in? Oh my God, that you have to ask. I can sit here right now and tell you 50 things that I believe in, that I will fight for, that I do every single day on this program. And here's a governor of Pennsylvania. Well, I don't know if I really want to be in the same party with. She hates you. You're Jewish. Hello? Can you just freaking tell the truth? Can you just once be authentic and be like, I want nothing to do with that broad. She's a nutbag. And so are people who vote for her. And that's the scourge of our society. White college-educated liberal chicks. Here's Grant Stinchfield on the streets of New York City after Zoran Mamdani, socialist mayor from Uganda, attacked our nation as an arena of supremacy that persecutes people. And he claims that ICE is invading our streets. Hey, how about you? Shut the hell up. How about that? You want to do that? Because the counterfeiting that's going on your streets because there's no law and order in New York City anymore. Oh boy, here's Grant Stinchfield just taking a stroll.
I'm going to show you something in New York. This is Mamdani in action. All of this right here, all fake crap that's taking money out of somebody's pocket. These people harass people. What's that? This is all fake, right? Does it not take money out of people's pockets? Yes. See, he knows. He knows all of this. Where are the cops to shut this down? This is literally stealing. Not to mention, who knows what they're charging tourists for this crap. And that's what it is. It's absolute crap. All lining up and down Broadway. You go up to Canal Street over here, you'll see it. Mamdani, your city has become an absolute hole because of you. And this is literally taking advantage of people. 100%. See, they don't like to hear it. They don't like to hear it, but it's true.
Counterfeiting, stealing, pretending. This is exactly what socialists are, communists are. We're going to pretend that we're going to do really good things so you don't have to work, you don't have to worry. Oh, it's so wonderful. Welfare for all. Free medicine, free education so we can indoctrinate you. Sign me up. Please. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, according to the Democrats, twisted logic, you can't celebrate America's 250th because America isn't worth celebrating. TikToker nails it next. Okay, look, a lot of you, this is a weird pivot, but it's a great pivot because I really think this is something that's going to benefit a number of you. If you're paying too much for health insurance, if you have a plan that makes you pay for crap that you don't need, and you're like, I don't need that. I just want this. I just want this. This is what I want. This. You can have this by creating your own insurance policy through Health Revolution. info.healthrevolution.net. Info.healthrevolution.net. I want you to write it down. Look, 800-868-6187. This isn't some like, I'm making some cut off of them signing you up for some fringe insurance. No. This is you saving 30 to 60% on your premium. No co-payments to go see doctors. You choose the doctors you want to see. It's not like, are they in network? Are they out of network? Is there an enrollment period? Oh, hurry, I've got to squeeze into that portal. No, these are people who want to talk to you, who want to hear what you need, who want to save you money and make it easy. Shocker. It happens. It happens. Info.healthrevolution.net. That's going to put you in a portal to add some names, your name, your phone number, your email address. Be open to the conversation because that's how it's going to work. They want to save you money and get you the insurance you need. Look, you got to be under 65. You got to be in relatively good health. If you're a good gig worker, if you're in the Obamacare nightmare plan, which is it's going to go kablooey. Cigna is dumping it next year. They're getting out. It's going to be a nightmare. If you're unemployed or self-employed, rather, this is for you. Info.healthrevolution.net. Just going to tell you. I trust these people implicitly. I would not have put my name on it, period. I would not have. But I think a lot of people can benefit. A lot of people can benefit and save a lot of money. Lipstick break. What is going on over on X?
I don't know.
7,000 people.
So I guess we got to talk to the people on X. It's 90 likes with 7,000 people watching.
How do they go? How do they do that, Brock?
They hit the little heart button. And right next to the heart button is the retweet.
Yeah. Hit me a retweet.
I mean, it's real easy.
Hit it back and just be like, she's fabulous. You don't even have to say anything.
I mean, we only have 6 comments.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Then I think that's a bogus. That's not real that we're getting that many people. Do you think? It's very peculiar. I don't know. Me not know. I have no idea. I do know I need to go to the bathroom.
I mean,
stat.
If there's 95 likes, shouldn't there be 95 retweets? Or do they still call them retweets?
I don't know. Can you imagine what will happen when we finally get our Facebook page back? Do you remember when creeps infiltrated all of our pages and then started putting nasty video of like people with
pimples,
with
and
like
zits popping,
with like pus in their eye?
Yeah, like,
and then people are like, "What are you putting on your Facebook page?" And I'm like, "Really, really? Does that follow my MO? Like, I want you to see pus. Like, I'm not Dr. Pimple Popper, okay?" And it was so wrong. And we tried, and there's no, it's like this, getting through.
Yeah.
So
click this link, and we'll redo it.
Yeah.
Click this
Yeah.
link is broken.
We've sent you a confirmation code to your email on file. Well, newsflash, I've been freaking hacked. It's not my email anymore. Help me, help me.
We're going to get to 8.
Josh Shapiro, what an abject loser.
Yeah.
Joshy. Keep going, Josh. Keep going, babe. Not your time, bro. Not your time, sadly. Your party doesn't think so. I used to give a couple Fs. I've run out of Fs to give. I don't care anymore what people think. That happened a long time ago. One of the first victims of cancel culture, very publicly. A lot of you know this story. I'm not going to rehash it. Long ago, I stopped caring what other people think. I don't know how long ago it happened, but when you get to that point, it's a beautiful moment. I want to see people embrace just something simple like the American flag. That's not a political statement. Hanging an American flag on your house or on your garage. That's part of being Team USA, right? Can you imagine this woman? There's this woman in Illinois, small town, Galesburg, Illinois, which incidentally happened to play a pretty important role in the Underground Railroad. Okay? Galesburg, Illinois. There's a woman there who's gotten quite a TikTok following, quite a Facebook following. She's a legal immigrant. She is an entrepreneur, and she started something called Judy's Family Cafe. And she says that she's got the world's greatest pancakes. And so she showed up on the National Mall in celebration of America to share the good news of her American pancakes. And she got freaking dragged for, how dare you love America? Man, it's so diagnosable what's going on the left. But a TikToker picked up on it. And he did a little duet video on it. And I think it's important for you to listen to this. The legal immigrant entrepreneur who started Judy's Family Cafe is now being trolled for celebrating America's birthday because that makes sense. Listen.
So the left is always virtue signaling about how much they love immigrants. That is until an immigrant does something that they don't like or they don't support. This is Judy Wong right here, a legal immigrant into America. She has a huge following on TikTok and Instagram. She started her own business making pancakes, and she's located somewhere in Illinois. People from all over the country would go find her pancake shop to go there and visit her because they loved her so much. But then she committed the ultimate sin a person can commit. She set up a booth at the Freedom 250 event in DC to advertise her business and sell her pancakes. Because what we have all learned this year is that you cannot celebrate America's 250th birthday because you'll automatically be affiliated as a Trump supporter, even if you're just trying to celebrate America. She even put this long post on Instagram where she said, "Becoming an American citizen is one of the greatest blessings of my life. Every day I get to serve the country that gave me an opportunity to build this dream, and for that I will always be grateful." This is something the left should love, right? Aligning with Trump was real unfortunate. Nah, Judy, sorry, we out. I was so disappointed. I was going to travel from Oregon to eat your pancakes, but now that you attended the Freedom 250 fair, I cannot. The saddest unfollow. This might be the craziest one. You were at the Freedom Fair. That alone is a stance. You were at the Freedom Fair. Apparently celebrating freedom is bad. And all these comments are literally on every video she posts now. They're all just harassing her at this point. If you guys have a chance, make sure you give this woman a follow.
Judy's Family Cafe. That is how you find Judy. I mean, the greatest message I get every 4th of July, every Independence Day, is from my HVAC guy named Kieran. Kieran is off the boat Irish. He is a foul-mouthed son of a mother. I love him. And he became naturalized a couple years ago. And it was the proudest day of his life. And every time he has an opportunity to celebrate and send me a text with a shamrock and an American flag, he does. The left is off the reservation. And I wish I felt sorry for them. I don't. There is a disease, and it is sad. But I don't believe many of these people are going to be saved. We can only go forward and teach our children and grandchildren the truth, the American story, because it is glorious. When we get back, America demands proof of life. Look, I'm going to go with the Democrat challenger who wants Mitch McConnell's seat. Is the dude even alive? Oh my! I agree. Show us he's not dead. I'll tell you why we're asking. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, I've got to go to the bathroom.
Damn. Most of us thought Mitch was out to lunch to begin with, but this story is just taken off. of how crazy it is. That you have John Thune coming out and saying, I'm in constant contact with him. What, with a Ouija board? Like, dude's nowhere. Wife took off 3 days after. It makes you realize how ugly politics is and how they just lie without hesitation. It's just a complete. I say, if for any other reason, let's say Mitch comes out and Mitch is dead. Let's just say Mitch is dead. And John Thune's here saying, I'm in constant contact with him. You need to impeach John Thune. Simple as that.
Hello.
We're going to hit 11 here soon.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's real or what. I'll take it.
Well, if it's all bots, can they at least, if you're listening, bots, can you hit the retweets?
Is that what people are saying?
I don't know.
I have no idea what it is. All right. So I want to tell you about something that I drink that I care about passionately. And even though Native Path stopped sponsoring the show, I still take collagen peptides every single day. By the way, I was going through a closet in my dad's house, in my house, and clearing out all sorts of stuff. My mom had a bunch of hats and gloves and what have you. And so I was taking all of that out. And looking what I found in the corner is this. I was like, oh my gosh, my mom had it. Fantastic. But I want to tell you about the delicious MCT wellness that I drink. This is the healthyfat.com. This is Dr. Gundry's drink that he attributes to his 70-pound weight loss 20 years ago and his maintenance and keeping the weight off. And it's his number one weight loss tool. And he says, without a joke, that he's literally witnessed thousands of people have extraordinarily dramatic weight loss by drinking MCT Wellness. And what it does, it's a dietary supplement that absolutely crushes your cravings, takes your hunger and shoves it in a pocket somewhere for like 4 to 5 hours. And so when you've got that like grumbly and you're like, I've got to eat some, it completely kills that. And so you can easily go from 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day. And look, fewer calories, less calories, more exercise. You know how this works. This is how it is. There's a video that accompanies it. You're going to be like, that's annoying. I hate videos. I do too. This one is worthwhile. The Healthy Fat. Just go. thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Learn about the things that you're eating that you think are super great for you that are totally fudging up your weight loss plan. If you're tired of the plateaus, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I have to do? Eat rabbit food? No, this can help. MCT Wellness, you can get it 20% off your first order, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. It is delicious, goes in the water you're already drinking, right? I drink it every single day and it gets me through 5 hours. 5 hours. I'm not worried about eating while I'm sitting here talking to you. Watermelon lemonade is really good. The blueberry lemonade is like off the charts. And this is it for me, so I have to get on it. It's my 3rd jar of this order. There we go. Okie dokie. So I want to know what's going on with Mitch McConnell and how long everybody has known that this dude is a vegetable. Because I'm going to say that's exactly what he is. I'm not a brain expert, but I am married to a cardiologist. And I do know there's a pivotal amount of time without oxygen that you can be revived in and not have brain damage. And it's a small window. And I'm not thinking Mitch McConnell made it into that window. And now all of a sudden we understand it wasn't just hospitalized. He's not just getting excellent care. He's probably on life support. What? Infuriating, disgusting, and I'm pissed. So we have 12,000 people watching on X. How high can we go? I want to personally.
Here we go.
Personally, I will be happy with nothing less than 30,000.
Wow. I don't know if we're gonna get there.
I say we will.
But we got 48 watching on Rumble too. A little depressing with the Rumbles, but you mean, you can't win them all. Intent.
It's even gilded like the president.
Hit the follow button because I want to get to 100,000.
We are so close to 100,000. We just need like 4,000 people. And if you're watching 12,000 watching on X, if that's for real, it has to be for real.
We're 3,500 away from 100,000 followers.
If you haven't hit the follow button, you could push us over the edge. I'd hope to get there by my birthday, then by the 4th of July.
I want to get there because the one guy told me from Rumble, oh, you get a special thing when you hit 100,000 followers. I want to know if it's BS.
You want to know what the special thing is?
I want to know, yeah.
100%. Does it exist?
Yeah.
Are we going to go on a treasure hunt, ladies and gentlemen, like I did with my father? How cool is that, a treasure hunt? And then we'd split up the day, and then halfway we'd stop and sit down and drink some ice water. And he would pull out some of my mom's nice jewelry and lay a couple pieces out. Do you want these? And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. You don't have to ask me anymore. I will take everything. Yes. I'm going to hopefully have 5 daughters-in-law. That'd be pretty cool to pass on some beautiful things to my daughters-in-law. I'm going to wear one thing in particular, and you'll know. Very cool. Very cool.
You didn't bring me back anything.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live and on the clock. Remember when Jill Biden gave that stupid softball interview to that CBS babe who was asking her about Joe's debate performance when he was like, and Jill was like, I thought he was having a stroke. And then, of course, right after the debate, she trots him out and goes to like a Waffle House for like a photo op. And Brock and I are looking at each other. I'm like, look, if my husband, I think, is having a stroke, the last thing we're going to do is go get some grits, okay? We're going to the hospital, babe. We're going to the hospital stat because you might be having a problem that requires immediate medical attention. Similarly, Elaine Chao, what have you, Trump's former transportation secretary in his first term, who's allegedly married since 1993 to former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, she bounced and went to China 3 days after Mitch McConnell apparently didn't just have a little bit of a mishap. He had a freaking heart attack. He had a heart attack, you guys. He was found unconscious, which means no heartbeat, no pulse needed, CPR. And yet the story we were all told in mid-June when it happened, we didn't even find out for a week, was that, yeah, he's back in the hospital. You know, he's older. He's fallen a couple times. But hey, look, he's getting excellent care. And Senate Majority Leader John Thune was like, yeah, like we're told he's in touch with me from his hospital bed. That is a freaking lie. That is a freaking lie, and that should render John Thune as impeachable or removable as the leader of the Senate. Let's read the story, guys. Do you think it's kind of a big deal that Mitch McConnell is probably on life support? That he's probably connected to machines? Because if they're voting on something, who's this freaking vote? It's no different than Joe Biden's auto pen. Is it some bureaucrat hack, some white college educated toxic liberal chick who's like, yeah, I really don't like the Save America Act. It sounds very threatening and un-American. No, I want to know. And we should know. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. If you're incompetent, if you're incapable, if you're in a coma, I'm pretty sure we should know. Is that too much? Is everybody on board with that? I'm just going to be like, that's kind of common, right? Kind of common. Well, he's either dead or he ain't coming back for the wife to bounce and go to China, or their in arrangement is political purely. If my husband had a stroke, as much as I love you all, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in the hospital. I'd be figuring it out. Here's a story. Daily Beast. Daily Beast is pissed. This is a leftist rag, and I agree with them. Mitch McConnell's wife's bizarre move after CPR drama revealed. Why the hell has it taken 2.5 weeks to get the truth? If we're even getting it. Elaine Chao, seen on a trip to China 3 days after her husband's hospitalization. Nothing says love ya. Senator Mitch McConnell's wife reportedly traveled to China just 3 days after he received CPR following an apparent heart attack. What? 73-year-old Chao, who's been married to the 84-year-old crypt keeper lawmaker, I added that, since 1993, and formerly served as transportation secretary in the first Trump administration, traveled to Beijing and met with Chinese Vice President Han Yang. Days out, if I say it that way, it sounds like I know what I'm saying, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. Anyway, days after McConnell's hospitalization, photos circulating in Chinese media show Chao sitting next to Zhang on June 17th. It was Trump's birthday, if I'm not mistaken, Flag Day, the 14th, that Mitch McConnell was found unresponsive. The timing of the visit, Chao's to China, adds further questions to a growing list McConnell's aides have declined to answer since the EMS call made public this week revealed he'd been hospitalized after suffering a freaking heart attack on June 14th with an emergency dispatch sent to his Washington, D.C. residence. Audio of the call was first revealed by journalist Desiree Townsend. The Republican senator's team has confirmed he's in the hospital, but has offered no further details about his condition. Unacceptable. Unfreaking acceptable. As unacceptable as people who are like, I don't know. Who was the one behind the auto pen? What? I don't know what you're talking about. What? I'm pulling my red card. Here's my red card. Foul. Suspension. You are now expelled from the game. How is this acceptable? Well, you had Kay Granger, who was in a dementia facility for 6 months before anybody realized that she wasn't around, right? Look, hey, I have utmost compassion for people who need help. You ought not be a sitting member of Congress, period. So he confirmed he was in the hospital. Senator McConnell appreciates the outpouring of support he's receiving while he continues his recovery in the hospital. An emailed statement from his office reads, the senator continues to improve. Really? I demand proof of life. Because you don't improve, ladies and gentlemen. If you're down, 4 to 6 minutes? Usually, you don't get oxygen to your brain. You ain't waking up. Your heart can be restarted, but there's nothing upstairs. Facts. We appreciate the well wishes. He's continuing his recovery. No, he's not. And you know what? I'm 100% behind this guy, this Democrat. I don't want a Democrat to take Mitch McConnell's seat, right? But he's got a great point. Mitch McConnell health cover-up claims emerge after cardiac arrest call. Continuing to ignore this is not leadership. It's elder abuse. who the Biden crime family syndicate. They freaking experts in that. Drag Joe around, put him on the gurney, or rather put him on the dolly, wheel him around weekend at Bernie's, right? A Democrat hoping to replace Mitch McConnell as Kentucky senator is demanding that the full extent of the 84-year-old Republican's condition be made public. I concur. Charles Booker has blasted McConnell's team for failing to be fully transparent about the veteran senator's condition amid growing calls about his health. McConnell, who's not been seen in public for weeks, was found unconscious and received CPR from emergency responders. Guys, I'm no time expert, right? My rudimentary knowledge of the clock tells me that by the time somebody finds you and they decide that or determine that you are unresponsive and that you require CPR because you have no pulse, by the time somebody gets there from emergency services, some EMT paramedic, it's too late. It's too late. 4 days, McConnell's team refused to answer. But who's McConnell's team? Who are these people? I didn't vote for them. Why are you refusing to answer basic questions? But more importantly, where's John Thune? Is this why John Thune called a 19-day summer break for the senators? It's because they were working so hard. I know the 4 hours a day, 3 days a week all year you guys work. It's a little tough. God, I'm bushed. Let's go home for 19 days. Said nobody actually working for a living. John Thune, no, I mean, he's talking to us. He's engaged. We're talking to him. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a rat-fink liar. What was Joe Biden's line? Lying dog-faced pony. So what was that? That's what you are. What that other guy who's brain dead said. Look, I'm not making fun of somebody who's old, who might have suffered either a stroke or a heart attack, somebody who's non-responsive, unresponsive, somebody who needed CPR, somebody who's clearly not going to walk out of this. Well, why are we the last to know? What's so hard about being honest? Just tell the truth. Why can't they ever tell the truth? It's not just Democrats. It's freaking Republicans. I blame the Republicans for this. I'm on the side of the Democrat dude. He's like, I want to know. I want to know too, brother. I want to know too. And I want this kind of garbage to stop. I want to grab an Etch-a-Sketch. And I want Congress, some embodiment of it on my Etch-a-Sketch. You guys remember that when you were in the 70s? Little stairs, right? Shake it, erases. I want to Etch-a-Sketch, bulk erase Congress, period. Shake it, get rid of them all. You can reapply. Here's an application on the way out. If you'd like to have your seat back, we're going to do a dive on you. We'll see if you're actually worth it. Probably not, because we need some new blood. This cannot be business as usual. This guy was the leader of the Senate until recently, and he's probably been brain dead for a while. And it's probably his aides who have been voting no for however long on the Save America Act. Pass the damn act. Blow up the filibuster. Freaking get one of something done and stop lying to us. Is that too much to ask for? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, 111 million American adults. What do you think they don't do or don't have? I'm going to tell you, and it's going to make you angry, and I'm sorry, but it's a good conversation. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Okay, now we're almost at 19,000. This is just weird. Okay, disinfectwithsniper.com. Just going to say. Best thing you'll buy to keep your house clean. I really became aware of it in the lead up to COVID. And anything that is a hospital grade antibacterial, disinfectant, antifungal, all that stuff. I mean, it's safe for you. It's non-toxic. So you literally could spray it on your face or even in your mouth, and you're going to be fine. How does that work? Hell if I know. but it does. And it's the best all-purpose cleaner I've ever used. Everything from fungal infections, problems that cause athlete's foot, spray your shower, spray your toes if you start feeling the tinglings of athlete's foot. Kill it, right? Germs on knobs, countertops, handles, your car. I use it on everything. And it leaves a very light chlorine smell at the end. It just smells like it's been cleaned. As it is. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Also, I use my Hunt Chef spices before. That was what was on the chicken that I brought you.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Which one do you remember? Wasn't Big Sexy Beast.
It was not Big Sexy Beast. It was a poultry one for sure. I forget. But they have ones from the bayou for your shrimp and your fish, and it's so good.
I just sent you a text.
Is it going to hurt my feelings?
Like the other text I sent you on Saturday. By accident. July 12th is coming up.
What's July 10th or 12th?
They have to get rid of him or he has to resign, say I'm done, so they can pick their own candidate.
Who, Democrats?
Yeah, if not, they have to go with him.
So it says Maine's Democrat nominee for Senate, Graham Plattner, is rumored to be dropping out after he abruptly canceled multiple campaign events just days before the dropout deadline. So the deadline to drop is July 12th, rather. If he doesn't, there's nothing the Democrats can do. They can handpick their own voter if Plattner drops out in advance of that. Whatever.
Maybe that's why what's her name didn't drop and stayed on the ballot. What's that? Maine's
Janet, what's her face?
Mills.
God, Janet Mills. What a turd. What a total turd. She's gross. I saw her at the airport.
She's sure not a looker.
No, she's rough. Then beyond that, you're just not a good person. I don't have time anymore with people who are not good people. If you constantly lie for a living, you can suck it. How about
20K.
that? I don't know what's going on. Methinks you should, if you're on X and you're part of this bonanza of people we have allegedly watching, you should totally hit the heart button and then you should retweet. It'd be fun.
We're up to 221 likes. At least the bots are listening.
I'm glad you guys are here. No matter what, I love that you guys are here. We have 4.8 watching, 2.18 rumbles. I'd love to get that up to 2.5. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. So I kind of have two things I want to talk to you about here, which is just amazing. Did you guys see this story? I heard the president had retweeted this story. I got it from the New York Post. Biden's illegal immigration surge triggered a 30% rise in home prices and a 20% rise in rents, a paper from the Fed finds. I could have told you that. We talked about it last week, but now it's actually on paper. That it's amazing that when you bring millions of people across the border, you kind of run out of spaces at the airports. Remember how we saw them all huddled in at the airports, all the illegals? And then when curious Americans walked by and started recording, airport personnel came out, "You can't be here filming this." And I'm like, well, who's Juan and company crashing on the floor? Where are they going? Pray tell. Now you know. So this is a huge deal. A new Federal Reserve working paper found the record surge in illegal immigration during the Biden administration triggered higher home prices and rents. I mean, like, no duh. Which is why I think it's hilarious when the Democrats are like, Trump's America is too expensive. It is. You're right. It's too expensive. Did he do it? No. No. Did you hear this one? 111 million U.S. adults don't have a job. What? 111 million adults don't have a job, and America spends more than $1 trillion a year on a social safety net for them? Is that even feasible? Is that even yes. Did you know that the number of Americans who are out of work right now is far higher than it was at any point during the Great Recession? Sounds crazy, but it is not. A whopping 111 million Americans don't have a job. And we're spending more than $1 trillion a year on the social safety net that supports them. Of course, we cannot afford to do this because the national debt has already reached $39 trillion and is growing at an astounding rate. The president not helping with that, one would say, either, though it would be fantastic if maybe this tariff stuff could get settled. So countries that have been boning us and selling their goods here on the cheap and then screwing us as we try to sell our stuff there, hopefully we can start getting what we are owed there. The bureaucrats in Washington keep telling us that the unemployment rate is low, even though those are vast numbers of adults all around us that are not working. How are they able to do this? Well, by dumping almost everyone that is not working into a category known as not in labor force. This allows them to keep the official rate of unemployment suppressed, even as the labor force participation rate hits an insanely low level. Why don't people want to work? Oh, I don't know. The Democrats were like, just stay home. Stay calm. Stay high. Stay safe. I mean, during COVID. You don't want to go out. You don't want to show your work. You don't want to go do anything extraordinary. You don't want to think outside the box. You don't want to see the truth. You don't want to make your own decisions. You just sit right there, right? And watch television. CNN will tell you everything you need to know. 111 million. On the surface, a June drop in the unemployment rate helped provide some upside to what was an otherwise downbeat jobs report. But it was for all the wrong reasons. That's because the decline in the jobless level to 4.2%, the lowest in a year, came largely from an exodus of workers from the labor force, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. In fact, the measure of the working age population either employed or looking for a job slid to 61.5%, the lowest since March of 2021. Excluding the COVID-era jobs market, it was the lowest labor force participation in exactly 50 years. Today there are just over 7 million Americans who are officially unemployed, what doesn't sound bad, but they rarely mention those that are considered to not even be in the labor force. It's one thing to be looking and not finding. It's another thing not to be looking at all and just to be cashing your welfare check. So that's where we are. 111 million American adults aren't looking, but they are surviving because you're paying for them. And just because I can kick you in the pants as you're bent over, did you know? Yes, the cost of stamps is going up again. For the fine service that we get from the USPS, which lost $9.5 billion in 2024 and $6.5 billion in 2023 after we gave them $120 billion since 2020. United States Postal Service is continuing to suck wind, and now stamps are going up. What is it, 4 more cents? What is it, 82 cents? It reminds me over 40 years ago when Milton Friedman said, if you put the federal government in charge of the Sahara Desert, in 5 years, there'd be a shortage of sand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you never, ever trust the federal government to run business, because they'll run it into the ground. There you go. Is it really worth 80 odd cents to send anything anymore? Or can we just etch a sketch, throw a red card, and blow it all up? Maybe we should. Where's Jeff Bezos? Can he do something with the USPS? It's almost like Spencer Pratt was supposed to do something other than be LA's mayor, because what he's doing has far more of an impact. Did you see the video he dropped on Mamdani? You didn't. Excellent, because I've got it for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Step 4, you could just put into my veins.
Mm-hmm.
I thought step 4 was
Mm-hmm.
America.
That's when he drops F-bombs. He has no more Fs to give. He dropped a few more. I should give him some because I do have a little supply. Mm-hmm. I hate bad people. I say I hate everyone, and I don't. I very much dislike. No, I hate bad people. I feel sorry for stupid people who are brainwashed. And I try to do regular self-checks to make sure that I'm not falling for it too. So you have to be on the lookout. It's the new virus. Forces you to not believe that you live in the greatest place on planet Earth, as 8% of Democrats believe that America is truly extraordinary. What a bummer. Can you imagine what they're teaching at home? Woof. Woof. Thank God I had a moderately large family, so there's at least a couple of people I can X out there. Wild.
Gabby was telling me this weekend that we were talking about.
This is Brock's niece.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. My niece was telling me about how she had a class that the teacher would take stories from the left and stories from the right, blah, blah, blah. And they talked about the stories and like how unbiased this class was. And I says, if he took stories from the left and stories from the right, which were which? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you don't know, I was like, you realize he gets 95% negative news coverage.
I had a very interesting conversation with my father in that regard.
Yeah.
And I think there is a way to engage with someone who is a product of the news that they're exposed to. There are a lot of people who just get a newspaper at their door, and that's their news. They're not on social media. People like my father's age. He's not scrolling through Twitter. He's not catching me on Instagram. He doesn't even watch the news.
Good for him. He
watches Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, which I freaking love. And we just sat there and we're like, oh, I want everything deep fried and juicy. Bring it now. He watches that and sports, Dodgers. It's fun when you have a great team. Yeah.
I'm telling him, if he's tuning in on Twitter, one of the 26,000 first like it. And 2, your dad has to take me to a Dodger game next year. Just has to. He has to buy me a hat and a hot dog. I'll buy him a hot dog.
Wow. There's a lot of demands going on here. A lot of demands.
I'll buy him dinner at In-N-Out.
At In-N-Out. Have screaming diarrhea for
apparently
7 hours.
Everyone that some kid tried
so
In-N-Out from
so good. If you don't like sauteed onions on your burger,
I do.
I do too.
Oh, 100%.
It is just, if you don't get it on your clothing, you're not trying hard enough. So good. It's a great place for a first date.
You've seen me.
That or ribs. I'm in. I'm all
or
in.
Wings.
I'm watch out. If I'm in, I'm all in. I'll eat it all. Oh my goodness.
That's a quick date though. You're like, I'm gonna take Wendy to In-N-Out. Oh, we just ate. I gotta go home.
Yeah, my stomach needs to. I'm feeling right. Sorry.
A kiss goodnight? No.
No.
I'm on a time crunch.
Did you not hear? And go.
See that red light?
I was never a dinner and a movie kind of girl. I'm like, well, we can skip the movie because I'll miss the first 10 minutes of it. It's so bad. I'm sorry. So glad you guys are here. Thank you. Thank you. No matter who you are, 27,000. I said I wanted 30,000.
And we may get there.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there, and then we're going to find out, oh, yeah, it was a coding error. We forgot to carry the 1. I'm sorry. It was a decimal point thing. Wendy, less taxes. How are you, babe? I see you. Hi, LMCS777. Hey, Beebs. What's going on? Jay keeps asking. That's a new name. Hi, Gino. What's going on? Rusty retired relic. Hi, Vipers.
At the ball game, what does a beer and a hot dog cost?
$30. Who knows? They're so damn good, though. Dodger dogs are off the grid.
Are they?
I have to have fresh, crisp. I don't have to, but I prefer
Onions. Oh, that's probably wonderful to sit next to you while you're cheering.
And well, Joe doesn't like no, that's not the problem. If I get mustard, Joe always gets mad because somehow it ends up on his clothes. He's like, "Did you get mustard? Oh, great!" And I'm like, "I don't know what your problem is," and invariably it's on his pants, and it's not on me. And I'm like, "Look, there's a problem that you have.
It's a time.
It's a you problem. It's not a me problem."
No, couldn't be a
Ketchup,
Wendy problem.
mustard, onion, bring it on a
A
foot-long
Wendy
dog.
problem?
Been extraordinarily impressed by Spencer Pratt in Los Angeles, former reality TV guy who ends up getting sucked into the vortex of the Palisades inferno, lost everything. His mom lost everything. And so he decided to get involved. And he decided to run for mayor, and a lot of people caught on to his campaign. And it was almost like he was supposed to expose the degree of ridiculosity about California elections. And he did. He had this badass social media campaign. He had people all over the place making videos for him to take down an establishment communist hack in Karen Bass. And this 2-bit zero socialist, whatever she is, Nithya Raman, who ends up getting this late surge of votes to push her over the top and squeeze out Spencer Pratt. And they come from one location, Skid Row. You know, I told my father about that, the Californian, and he had no idea what I was talking about. It's not being covered. It's almost like Spencer Pratt was selected as the poster child to expose Southern California's suck. That no matter how hard you work or what kind of a campaign you run, the system is rigged against outsiders, and it perpetuates the grift, the graft, the suck, and the abuse. And that's how you get lousy people time and time again. So Spencer Pratt puts out, and he's no sour grapes, which I love. Spencer Pratt didn't put his eggs in MAGA's basket. He didn't champion President Trump. He championed Angelenos. That's what he cared about. That's who he ran for. That's what he ran on. And he exposed and brought to light the dirty little secret of how much elections in California suck and how much they should be questioned. And it's so unnecessary. So Spencer Pratt puts out something on the 4th of July after Zohran Mamdani, surrounded by immigrants, finger-wagged America about how much we suck and how we're so, colonial and imperialistic and how we're all about slavery and blah, 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 and it's not fair. And it's like, how about you beat it? Go back to Uganda. I don't care. I'm not interested in you. Well, Spencer Pratt did something a little different. He created a 5.5-minute video, which blew up Twitter over the weekend. We've broken it into a couple steps, And it's a timely message on America's Independence Day. And the message is this: this is our home. Commies, you can't have it. And number one, the beginning of his video, take away the history of a people and disconnect them from their memories. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a communist's first play to unwinding what you have that's so precious.
We all had to sit and watch that vile commie mayor sit on the wrong side of our founding fathers' desk to try and lecture us about our own history. Notice how the communist always attacks your history. The communist must attack your history. Why? Because history is what anchors you. It's what makes us attached to something. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. History breeds an almost irrational attachment to things, an attachment that is more powerful than anyone can imagine. Erasing history is how you demoralize people, how you unmoor them and detach them from their society so you can take it from them and rewrite it in your image. Think of your country like a home. What makes your home special? It's not the marble countertops or the expensive furniture or the fancy appliances. It's the memories you have there. That backyard is where we got married. That living room rug is where our son took his first step. Hey, don't touch that. That was his first teddy bear. It doesn't matter how torn and tattered that thing is. You will never get rid of it. And you will fight anyone who tries to take it away. Why? Because you have history with it.
How true is that? How true is that? And how true on Independence Day to look at what the fabric of our country is. It's the individual homes. It's each individual household. It's the family unit. It's mom and dad. It's the memories, the children, the entire kit and caboodle. And communists hate that. They don't want you to have that. They need to disassociate you from that. They need you divorced, ashamed, apologetic, and broken. He goes on, Spencer Pratt does, and says, communists want to tear down our memories and erase the connection that we have to America. True.
You ever buy a new home? Remember those first few months? Even the first few years there, it doesn't feel like home. It could be a million times nicer than the crappy apartment you came from, but it doesn't feel like home for a long time because you don't have history there. It's easy to knock down some walls, change the floor plan. If you have no memories to attach you to it, it's just wood and drywall. Who cares? Get rid of it. Memories make it a home, even the bad ones. Hey, remember when Dad hit his head on the rafter in the attic and we spent all night in the ER? That's the avocado tree I fell out of and broke my first bone. Isn't it weird how even the bad memories make us cherish a place? It's not like we long for those bad times, but bad times are part of what makes us stronger, a part of what makes us who we are. How can you resent those memories without fundamentally resenting who you are? History is so important to humans that even bad memories anchor us to our home.
How true. It's not perfect. No day is, no family is. Whatever you're going through, I get it. Whatever wounds there are that need to be healed, bridges that need to be walked across, solutions that have to be found, 100%. The communist wants to separate you from all of your connections. But the bad is commonly what ends up making things so much better, forcing you and your family to work together, creating that solidarity, that identity, that unit that is the foundation of America. And step 3, Spencer says commies want to rewrite the American history that long ago in many of our schools was stopped being taught.
And that's what the communist always starts with, the bad memories. Oh, we can get rid of that little story. We can knock down that statue. We can change the name of that street. That's a bad memory from our history. You don't want that memory hanging around. You're not a bigot, right? And slowly but surely, this wall comes down, then that wall gets sledgehammered. The rafter where Dad hit his head, that's gone. The rug where your son took his first step, that's gone. The gash in the wood floor where you stomped the glass on your wedding ceremony, that's gone and replaced with shiny vinyl planks. And now you've got a brand new home with no memories. Now what? Do you care what they do with it? Do you care what color they paint the walls? Nah. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I have no attachment to it. I have no memories with that. You love your home because of the memories you have there. And that's why the communist always must destroy your memories, destroy your history. If the communist wishes to take your home, he must first destroy your memory of it so he can erase your attachment to it and demoralize you. Mao destroyed what he called the four olds: old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. If you call them olds, it makes them sound bad. You don't want that old thing. Get rid of it. But it is fundamentally human nature to cherish your history. We crave learning about our history, where we came from, who our ancestors were. That's human. But communism is an evil, anti-human religion, so it must destroy what makes us human. The communist destroys your history so he can take your home and rebuild it in his image.
An evil, anti-human religion. Isn't that so spot on? And here, he loses it. And it is absolutely right. Brock and I said, if I could put an IV of this and pump it through my veins on no stop, just go. It's this every single day. This.
That's why it's your patriotic duty to celebrate today unashamed. It's okay to love America. Not only is it okay to love America, it's necessary to love America. We are the only bulwark against tyranny on this earth. When Europe descends into madness time and time again, it's our sons who cross the oceans to fight and die for freedom and human dignity. We don't let evil people destroy our history and rewrite it in their image. This is Independence Day. It's not just a number on the calendar. Don't say Happy 4th. That's commie gobbledygook.
No offense, but it sounds like some commie gobbledygook.
We say Independence Day. Today we celebrate the men who reclaimed a beautiful slice of this earth and claimed it for God, for the values of freedom and rugged independence. Our history is messy. Our history is violent. Yeah, it is. And that's why we love it. We aren't cowards. We don't turn our backs on the painful memories because they make us who we are. Be proud of our country, damn it. America is the birthplace of every great invention of the last 250 years. Like literally everything. Airplanes, spaceships, internet, telephones. As a country, we are batting 1,000. Not only is it a miracle that this radical experiment in self-governance even survived past 1776, but we are the champions of the world. Be proud of that. Be proud of your history. Millions of your ancestors fought and died to preserve it. Commie Mamdani's ancestors never bled for this country. He has no history here, so he has no attachment to our home. He has no place to rewrite our history and lecture us about what our country stands for. So celebrate today. Show some American pride. Honor your history. Raise your flag. Raise a finger and say, you communists. This is our home and you can't have it. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. God bless America.
My gosh. I'm almost jazzed that he didn't win that mayoral runoff position. I'm just going to say, I'm glad he's unencumbered by what has been. He can say whatever the Sam Hill he wants. He can give the middle finger to the commies he wants to call out. And he cannot be censored. He cannot be canceled. And his love of country can spread. That's one of the best messages I've gotten in a long time. This is our country. Communists, you can't have it. Not a chance. Quick time out. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, a little Hunter Biden stepping on a rake. I had to. It's just too delicious. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm going to switch this battery because it's gone. God, I looked. Brock, you okay?
Huh?
Is that all right? You hear me okay? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. You good? Testing. Dreidel. I made you.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Velvet.
What is that? Velvet?
38.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I just looked. I got off, and you know how you go on X and it shows you who's got what? It is on there. It shows that we've got like 38,000 people. It's like, what?
Here's why I'm kind of thinking. So I've been watching another station that I know has numbers. Their number hasn't changed.
What other station are you watching?
The fan. Just watching their numbers.
Oh. Just another Twitter account.
Yeah.
Okay.
And their numbers haven't changed.
Well, I think the reality is America has found me, and thanks
And I'm sorry I lost it, but someone said I searched for Trump news and you came up.
Hey, well, then you should stay, and you should go to wendybellradio.com.
Go to Rumble too.
Go to Rumble,
Create
follow
an
us.
account.
It's easy. We're cheap and easy in 3 hours a day.
Well, I'm cheap.
Ew. Ouch.
Oh, $4.
Snap. Well, it just seems like
That would make you cheap too.
Well, no, it just seems like it would make me easy, which I am kind of easy, I will say.
Wow.
Easy to get along with, easy to fall in love with, easy to think I'm fabulous, easy things like that.
Wow.
I love what Spencer says, and it is interesting that he is unencumbered. There are no rules. There aren't any parameters. He doesn't have to answer to anybody, any donors. He doesn't have to worry about ruffling feathers. He's all in fungu. Here's the story. If you're a commie, get out of my country.
That makes me want to go home and watch like Miracle or Rocky IV.
And the imagery in his ad. I mean, you saw Rocky, you saw Top Gun, you saw all sorts of things.
You saw
there.
Rocky
You
IV.
saw-
Rocky IV is.
You saw Mary Lou Retton. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember I thought she had the cutest little butt. I know my takeaway at the age of 10.
My
Thank you.
takeaway: Rocky IV.
Meh.
That's un-American.
It
It's
is un-American.
un-American. He had Hulk Hogan dropping the hammer. Yeah, the Hulkster.
I mean, whomever is handling that with him is freaking brilliant. What do I have to do that I haven't done? I think I did.
I think you got him.
I think I got everybody. I'm trying to have. I sometimes have a flurry of sponsors, and I'm not necessarily always in charge of how it pans out. So if it seems cluttered, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of trying to make everybody happy, and it's sometimes it's hard. Thank you for being here. Let's see how our rumbles are. We should be killing it. And 2.32. Okay. Thank you.
Thor mock. Rocky IV is just a bunch of music videos put together.
I don't
You're
disagree.
banned.
No, I don't disagree.
You're banned.
I watched it. Now I watched it as a grown-up because I watched no Rocky. I know what happened to me. Something happened to me in childhood. I never saw it.
Stop talking because I'm gonna say something.
Just stop.
I totally sent that by mistake.
That's okay. I just hit 40. I have no idea what's going on X, but because I could just get fussy with you and go off on a tangent and do whatever we normally do. And then this story crossed my inbox and I literally giggled out loud. And I think it's something fun that we should talk about. Look, I don't make fun of Hunter Biden for his addiction, for his upbringing. I commonly feel sorry for the dude. I just do, right? Whatever it is, it is. But this is funny. This is from redstate.com, just the way it's written. This guy, Rusty Weiss, brilliant. Here's the headline. Renowned ethics professor Hunter Biden steps on a rake lecturing Trump on profiting off of presidency. The first line, Hunter Biden, for reasons known only to him, went public with sharp criticism of President Trump and his family on Sunday, claiming they raked in billions from government contracts and overseas deals by cashing in on the presidency. That's right. Burisma's best known, best paid board member of all time is giving a TED Talk on ethics. Biden, in a lengthy social media post, detailed a series of alleged transactions involving Trump family members and associates while referencing the years-long public scrutiny he faced over his own business activities. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July, he wrote. I know President Trump and family did. 250 years ago, we declared independence from a king who ran the colonies as a family business. In just 18 months, the Trumps have made King George look like an amateur. Man, triggered is a bad color on everybody, isn't it? Right? Especially when you're allegedly a recovering addict. The notorious crack smoker's post jumps straight in, wildly exaggerating and cherry-picking Trump family business stuff to paint it as corruption. Truth is, most of these examples tie back to long-running companies, routine government contracts, and legitimate national security efforts with zero solid proof of any illegal quid pro quo, to borrow the line most likely used throughout Hunter's years from childhood right up to the mid-50s, his mid-50s, accompanied by a little pat on the head. At least you tried, right? And then he writes, he goes into all of these different contracts, et cetera, et cetera. It's a long, roundabout way to admit that you're suffering from an acute case of projection, hypocrisy, and derangement. And there you go. And by the way, at some point, the gravy train runs out. If you haven't been stashing away some of the millions that you've been getting from China and Kazakhstan and Russia and whatever, right? And Ukraine. Well, gravy train does run out. Look, we could talk endlessly about the Bidens, about what they've done, about the Clintons, what they've done, the Bushes, just as dirty as all the rest. And it's a damn shame. And I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to speak for common sense America when I say we freaking deserve better. No. We freaking demand better. If Donald Trump was enriching himself, if he was corrupt, if he was laundering money, if he was overvaluing his estate, if he tried to and whatever had sex with E. Jean Carroll, even though he's married to a supermodel, because, whatever, don't you think anyone would have stuck the landing? It's all this exhausting circle of suck. So what is it, Democrat Party? Because President Trump isn't going to be here forever. Who are you going to hate? What are you going to fight? Because it's not for us. What's going to be your platform? What's going to drive your numbers? What's going to move anyone to pay attention to a darn word that you say? I can't fathom it. But if you bring in communists who try to unwind American history, who've already tackled and toppled, 2,400 statues and monuments to our past. If you think that erasing where we've been, who we've been, and what we've learned together to create some perfect utopia for yourselves, as long as you're in charge of it, I'm sorry. Not going to happen. And I was intrigued listening to some of the people from the UK in America for the World Cup, marveling at how much they, as a country, freedom-wise, have given up, namely their own right to bear arms. We will not make the same mistake, communists. It's life or death, and we will fight for it. Thank you for being part of the Wendy Bell radio program. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to do it all over again. You ready? Miss you already. Love you guys. Peace.